Be back on play today, but I gotta leave. But I gotta go right now. Shit. Ladies and gentlemen, I was supposed to go live earlier. Y'all know I'm not gonna lie, I've been sleepy. I've been really sleepy. I've been busy. I ain't been live in a minute. Salute to everybody that's tuning in to this live stream. This is the Bullets Gotti Show 2.0. Um, if you rocking with the kid, hold on. If y'all rocking with me, smash the like button though. Y'all rocking with the kid Bullets Gotti, man. Y'all rocking with the best. The best of the fucking best. For all these other YouTube dudes, these dudes is lames. No offense, I don't have no problem with them. But there's a lot going on in the world, man. Especially what's been going on, the thing that happened with Rob Reiner and his wife getting killed in the house. Sad situation. They daughter finding them dead in the house and they son slit their throat. And then you got the situation with Jubilee Sykes, the great opera singer, where his son killed him not too long ago. So it's like I don't know what's going on, man. People just losing their mind, just killing people like crazy, you know. And like in them two situations, both dudes got killed by their sons, man. And these are successful people in the industry. And they both got murdered by their children. Rob Reiner got killed by his son. At first, they didn't say who killed them at first when they watched the news. It was like they investigated. And all of a sudden they said his son did it, like I would say like maybe 8 hours later, 12 hours later. So it's kind of like it's crazy. But salute to everybody that's in my channel. I've been hearing a lot of things going on YouTube, man. Like I've been hearing YouTube niggas, uh, wives leaving them and they smoking crack. Um, I'm hearing dudes is probation and all type of shit. Like it's so much things that I be hearing about people on YouTube and people come to me. I'll be like, I don't watch these people, so I don't know what's going on. People gotta fill me in. Like when I hear people going through these type of stuff, like they get caught up in addiction, um, they women leave them. Peace to everybody in the chat. I see y'all Bronze, AP, JP, my son Demo, hey, Precious Pearl, how you doing, Queen? How are you? And my son A Dot Brim in the building. Salute. Yeah, I don't understand that. Menace salute. So I don't understand that. Yeah, I seen that with Tommy Lee. That's crazy. But that's not surprising. They always got beef in the dancehall community. Usual was good. Um, yeah, so I never understood like how people like really like go this hard for YouTube, man. Like me, I'm at a point in my life, like 2026, my thing is about restarting, you know? It's about restarting. I've been writing, y'all know I haven't been really I've been putting content out. Y'all seen I've been putting a lot of content out, but I haven't been going live, you know. But uh I keep giving y'all the content. I know y'all see the videos that I put out on my channel. Y'all see the live streams. Y'all see a whole lot of things. So I'm still supplying y'all good content. Still supplying y'all that, still giving y'all that. But right now I've been focusing on writing my book, the Co-op Syndicate series, and I've been working on other books that I've been writing on, and I'm doing screenplays and trying to get my merch out because I've been that's the only thing I've been trying to really work on is the merch. So I've been really focusing on that and helping other people behind the scenes with they platforms, giving them advice. But far as like um getting into this YouTube shit with these people, man, these people is miserable. They not happy with themselves. Like, I'm gonna just keep it real with you, right? I watch dudes get up on here and they start beefing. Like, before I get into the topics of this morning, you got a lot of these dudes on here on the YouTube shit. It's just like I tell dudes on the clubhouse shit. Like, just look at these dudes. Look at these individuals that we talking about, right? Like, I don't watch none of these people channels, but I may take a time and somebody fill me in about what's going on. I'll go and I look and I see what they doing. And they doing the same old two step. They haven't changed. They haven't advanced. You know, people out here exposing people's personal information. And I don't feel sorry for them because that's what a lot of you dudes get. Because y'all stay in a sector that y'all not profiting any money. Y'all not profiting nothing. Y'all don't have a successful platform. Y'all just on a sector. And I've given people like-minded advice that, yo, why is y'all in this dirty sector? You know, y'all really believe that cause y'all follow the China Brims, the Harlem Legends, the Hassan Campbells, the Ten Toes Downs, the Zip with the Drips, that you're gonna be like these people. And y'all sadly mistaken. Your platform will die out. I've been here since 2018, right? I've been here, right? This is my 7th year anniversary. So I've been on here for 7 years, right? Let's just get that clear. And for 7 years I've been here, I put in the most amount of work. I've done everything you could say on this shit. I've been viral. I've been, hot and cold. I've gotten shadow banned, blackballed, whatever you want to say, but I still persevere and work my ass off, right? I done seen dudes like Ice Corleone. Y'all probably don't even know who he is. Oh so bossly. These are people that you don't even see no more. You know why? Because they thought because they got the clout. Scheme is another one. They thought because they got the clout that they gonna last forever. Y'all not Keith Sweat, homie. Y'all can't make it last forever. Y'all shit can get faded, and a lot of them got faded. And now look at it. Ice Corleone is in jail. That dude reached out to me couple months back asking me to do an interview with him. And he wanted to expose and address, the YouTube community. But that dude need to fight his case. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy though. It's crazy though. And then you got the others. Like I told y'all, Roski, who was a part of my channel, part of my platform. This is a dude that when he was with me, he was doing hella numbers. Now, when you look at Roski, he's going on platforms that is low level, low tier. Why is you going on low tier platforms? you know, like dudes going on low tier platforms, it don't make no sense to me. Cause if you a high tier nigga and you around the biggest nigga in the game, you shouldn't be going on low tier platforms. You should be going on platforms that's relevant. You know what I'm saying? So when I see these dudes going on platforms of dudes that got popping because they was dissing Hassan Campbell or they was dissing me, and they platforms is no longer like relevant no more. It's crazy. But hey, it is what it is. Shout out to you, Menace. Um, Celine, are you a female or a man? A man. I'm not. Um, Celine, G5 Reels. Oh, that's crazy. I didn't know that about G5 Reels. Learn something new every day. But yeah, make sure y'all smash the like button. Please, let's get these likes up. Let's get these people in here. You know what I'm saying? It's the early morning. So let's really get these people in here. You know, um, definitely we're gonna be talking about a lot of things. But I just want to say, far as the 10 toes, nigga, um, that's crazy, but not surprising though. Oh, you Dominican? You a Dominican mommy? Where you from in Dominican? Where you from Dominican Republic? I'm gonna speak about Sean G in a minute. Shout out to Sean G. I'm gonna speak about that whole 50 thing. I'm gonna speak about a lot of things because this live is about a lot of things. There's a lot of topics that we gonna touch on. You know what I'm saying? But I just want the likes to get up, man. We got 39 people in here, man. Come on, let's get these likes up, man. Let's get these likes up. Once we get these likes up, the show can begin. But let me just say this about 10 Toes Down, man. 10 Toes Down is not relevant right now. Let's keep it real. Um, I don't understand why I was brought up. I don't speak about 10 Toes Down. That man reached out to me, trying to squash, trying to work. He said he pulled up to do business, so this dude has been reaching out, every time he come through, this nigga like a ghost. He'll pull up and then disappear when you come outside. So I'm gonna just keep it real, right? I don't speak about 10 toes down. I don't. Um, like I said, the interview that I did, we spoke about him because that was what brought up in the interview. But what people don't understand is that 10 toes down is a dude that was in jail setting pick. Hey, CW, how you doing? How you doing, Queen? CUCW, Chanel, how you doing, Queen? Nico, all right, Nico. So yeah, 10 toes down was in jail, right? And his life is a made up. I told y'all 10 toes down credibility was shot a long time ago, but everybody thought he was a real nigga, right? I was telling y'all this when he was banging on me. That everybody was jacking what he said about me. And I was telling y'all. And then when y'all start seeing his traits and what he was doing, then everybody was, oh yeah, he ain't incredible. But I was telling y'all he was incredible in 2021, 2020, 2022. I told y'all that. Yeah, shout out to Opposite going viral. I see you, brother. Peace to the homie. Everything good, man. Yeah, I mean, he the dude. I mean, if he want to retire from boxing, he could. At least he went out like a champion. He didn't do the Floyd Mayweather fought bums. He fought the top of the top, so he has the right to retire from boxing. But 10 toes down, like I don't even want to even say this, but 10 toes down got ran down on not too long ago in Brooklyn, right? At a spot called the Red Crab, right? Smash the like button. Smash the like button. He got ran down on at the Red Crab by some Brooklyn dudes, Brooklyn OGs, right? And he kind of like copped the plea and started speaking Spanish. Okay? That's what he was doing. Copped the plea and started speaking Spanish, put the Spanish accent on, right? Like, homie is fraudulent. Okay? Um, y'all should have known he was fraudulent when y'all listened to his B139 interview. When he said, I was locked up where Mike Tyson was at. Mike Tyson was never in Marion. But he said that Mike Tyson was in Marion. Mike Tyson was in the youth home. Starscream, what's up, bro? You know what I'm saying? So when that man went on YouTube and said that Mike Tyson was in Marion, I was locked up in Marion, and then he said that I started a gang called My Brother's Keeper, y'all should have known that he was lying. But people believe people that say anything because what? He look opposing. He's buffed, right? He look like, oh, that nigga look like he ain't nothing to fuck with. Just because he got muscles don't mean shit. You could be a soft nigga with muscles. You understand what I'm saying? Don't mean that you some gilla gorilla. Yeah, you got gorillas that got muscles, but you got baby gorillas with muscles that basically is soft as baby shit. You know? I heard something like that. I don't know if it's true, but I heard. There's a couple people I could say, but I don't know. So when he get online and he talk this Harlem shit and he talk that, like, let's keep it real, bro. Like, dude is a fraudulent dude. Like, nobody knows him uptown. Like, they know him, but they don't know him like he was this lit nigga. Like, stop it, bro. He just a dude that ran up a bag from a PvP shit. He had a chick that took care of him. Let's keep it real. But he was a whole counselor up north. You was a whole counselor up north. You know different than Zip with the drip. Let's keep it real. You know different than Zip with the drip. Like Zip with the drip is the same type of dude as 10 toes down. They all have similar personalities. They very that's why they can't get along. You gotta understand habitual liars can't get along with another habitual liar. So if I'm a cap nigga and he's a cap nigga, oh, we can't get along because we want the people to believe I'm a thoroughbred nigga. So that's why you'll see, yeah, make sure y'all smash that like button. We got 63 people in here. Come on, man. Get them likes up. Get them likes up. I need 100 likes. Get them likes up. And anybody that love the content, y'all know what to do, man. Support the platform. $ Bullets Gotti. Make sure y'all show love. The Cash App, $Bullets Gotti. Show love. If y'all want to. Y'all don't have to, but if y'all want to and y'all like the content, make sure y'all show love, man. Cause this is gonna be a great live. So make sure y'all, give a little donation, show a little love. $Bullets Gotti. Um, but when I saw the situation with the nigga Zip, right, he gets beat down in his own hood. Like any nigga that can't go back to their own neighborhood and then they go to uh a whole nother neighborhood. Like Zip lives in fucking where the fuck he live at? In Brooklyn, right? He's from Corona, Queens. If I'm from a place like Corona, Queens, and I say I'm a thorough nigga, I'm a dude that get busy, I'm known, I'm out here, but when I run out here with people, I'm running with like 15 dudes. I'm running with, yeah, make sure y'all smash the like button. Y'all coming in here, smash the like button. I'm running with 16, 30 different dudes. Like Champ ran down on this man, one deep. He was with another person, but the other dude that he was with wasn't even on that type of timing. This dude ran down and told him what it was, G checking him for Mav Hoffa. That dude Zip wasn't on no type of gangster timing. And the dudes he was with wasn't going to jump out the window for him because his bag ain't heavy. So when your bag ain't heavy, ain't nobody jumping out the window for you. So that's why when the situation happened to him in his own hood, it just shows that nigga ain't even respected in his own community. When you get beat up at a family day in your community, that just shows you that your community don't even rock with you. You know, the dudes in your hood don't even like you. They despise you. And that's why when I listen to these dudes talk and you listen to them long enough, they show you who they are, man. They show you that they not who they say they are. And they show you that they're very fraudulent. So when you got people like, and all these dudes, if you look, all these dudes hiding. Let's keep it real. These dudes is never anywhere in a place where they grew up or in their blocks. They out there hiding or they with a bunch of people that know them. But they ain't moving around all crazy because we know. So that's why like when people try to compare me to Zip or Ten Toes or Gully, I take that shit as an insult. I'm nothing like them niggas. Okay? Nothing like Zip, nothing like Gully, nothing like King Erna, nothing like Hassan, nothing like Ten Toes, China Brim, all them like nothing like them dudes. Them dudes is miserable. Them dudes is bitter. Them dudes is salty. And they haters. You understand what I'm saying? And look how all them niggas fell out with each other. Right? They fell out like we knew they was gonna fall out. They didn't do what real dudes do. They did what suckers do. They fall out with each other after, shit don't go good. When shit go bad, then everybody is, oh, fuck them. But when they was all good with each other, they was on each other's channels, they was talking to each other. See, I don't play them fake games. I don't play them like you my enemy and you my homie. I don't do the fake beefing. I don't do that shit. That's what these niggas do. I don't do that. Y'all never seen me fake beef. If I don't fuck with you, I don't fuck with you. The feelings is mutual. You know, the feelings is mutual. Yo, 64 people in here, yo. Let's get these likes up, please. You know, the feeling is mutual. So, and I'm big on respect. You know what I'm saying? Once you disrespect me, the love is gone, the respect is gone. There's no squashing it, none of that. You know, it's fuck you, just like you saying it's fuck me, it's fuck you too. And we gonna keep it like that. And that's what a lot of these people don't understand, bro. Everybody ain't a sucker. Everybody ain't like I'm not like a big Chuck, Death of the Clout Chaser, where a nigga could violate me, buy my company, and then next thing I know, I want to squash with him and work with him. I don't do that type of goofy shit. Like he did with Wack 100. Like this is what these dudes do on the internet. Like China Brim said all that shit about Wack 100, but he keying with the nigga. Like I wish I would key with a nigga after I said, yo, fuck that nigga. Like, these niggas be weird, bro. That's why I tell niggas, your beef is not my beef. I don't ride for niggas just because we from the same place or from the same city. I ride for niggas that ride for themselves and that's loyal. I don't fuck with snakes. These dudes show you time and time again, they a bunch of fucking snakes. They backbite each other. And these is not young men. These is grown men in their 40s and 50s doing sucker shit. You understand what I'm saying? Make it make sense. Grown men doing sucker shit at 40 and 50. These is niggas that got grown kids. These is niggas that got teenage kids. These is not niggas that's children. You understand what I'm saying? These niggas that got kids. And they online being weirdos. You understand what I'm saying? Like Harlem Legend. People ask me about that nigga. I tell niggas all the time. This man reached out to me, supported my platform, and then he started wilding me up. And I'm like, damn, dog. Like, but I get it. These dudes be clout chasers. But it is what it is, man. You gotta know who you affiliate with. Me, I'm good. I do my dirt all by my lonely on my Trek shit. It is what it is. Now, we got a lot to talk about this morning, like I said. Um, so much things going on. I see the shit with Charlie Kirk wife and the Candace Owens shit. I don't like that situation right there. Just shows you that chick is coming home to roost. Uh, what did she expect? Like what did she expect? Like you sticking your neck out for a man that ain't even your husband, and you on your platform going crazy. Them people be weird to me. You know what I'm saying? And like I don't listen to none of these internet pundits. Y'all notice that? I don't listen to none of these internet pundits because these people be weird. Once you listening to these internet pundits, they start showing you who they are. Like niggas be on here trying to be fake conservatives because they platforms is dying. I don't got time to be no fake conservative because my platform is dying. That means you ain't your real self, my nigga. If you gotta be out here, you gotta like I look at these dudes. Like y'all see the dude like Gotham. Like I know people that fuck with his platform. But I be like, yo, son, like, let's keep it real, right? You got a dude that got a channel, right? He's a rapper, right? And he comes off on some Uncle Ruckus, whatever I want to call him. He come on talking this shit. Now I could see if he has a real significant argument, but a lot of his arguments be kind of stupid and kind of dumb, like real talk, and it don't be sounding like okay, it sound like thought provoking shit. It sound like grifter shit. Like yo, I can't do the rap shit no more. Let me fuck around and try to be a conservative nigga, knowing damn well these niggas ain't no conservatives. Like, knowing damn well they ain't no conservatives, bro. Knowing damn well Young Pharaoh tried that shit. So what happened to Young Pharaoh? Young Pharaoh tried to be a conservative, and then Young Pharaoh lost his platform. And not only that, the conservatives fell back from these dudes. So I just be laughing at these dudes that get these platforms and they be shucking and jiving. Like, y'all dudes need to just stick to what y'all know. You know what I'm saying? If you a relationship nigga like Anton Daniels, do your relationship shit. If you admiring games, you want to black out on females, then do that. But when niggas try to act like they political and all that, y'all niggas be losing me. Because y'all only doing it because y'all numbers is down. And y'all see, like, that's the era that we in. Let me get my Candace Owens on. And she's a fraud. So, it is what it is. That's why I don't feel sorry for the situation that she going through with them people. They just showing her what it truly is. My song, let me say this about my song. Because I seen y'all, I seen people talking about the my song thing. So my song, I'm going to keep it real with y'all. Mondani just shows that he's going to be a terrible mayor. But let me just say this about my song. My song is a horrible pick for somebody to be over crime and trying to prevent it, right? This is a dude that tells you he's gangster but woke though, right? This is a dude. This is why I coined the phrase "you old dog" or "you Sharif." That phrase came because I was telling my son years ago on my platform that, and I told him this on Clubhouse. You can't be old dog 1 minute talking about gangster, and then you Sharif talking about you woke. You have to mean it what you saying. Now, when you look at somebody like Erica Ford, right, that's really out there in the community, or many others that's out there in the community, that's helping out the community, right? That's out there trying to stop violence. They don't pick these type of people, but they pick these celebrity pundits. Because my son is nothing but a celebrity pundit. Rap didn't work for him. He couldn't rap no more. You know what I'm saying? Because the incarceration, um, him being locked up and then getting into the game. He almost got in the game, but what happened was they allowed Rick Ross to go into the projects and shoot a whole video out there in Castle Hill. So 50 just fell back from them. And then because one thing about 50, you know, if he got an enemy, and I'm gonna talk about that early. I'm gonna talk about that later. But if he got an enemy and you taking pictures with him, that man gonna take it personal, which is understandable. I'm a cancer like 50. I take a lot of shit personal if you standing next to my eyes. Smash the like button, y'all. It's 56. Come on, man. Smash the like button, man. We need 100 likes, man. Come on, man. Don't be too don't be too bougie to like the button, bro. Come on, let's get these likes up, man. So when it come to my song, this dude basically um was trying to make it seem like, you know, he was doing something for the community. But what people don't understand is he needed a new hustle. And when you need a new hustle, you know, majority of the times your hustle gonna change up. And my song hustle changed up because it went from activism, it went from hip hop to activism, right? And he saw that it's a bag there. He's around Al Sharpton. He's around, he got Tamika Mowry, that's his side chick at the time. She putting him on. And they basically saying, yo, baby, let's run this bag up. They running the bag up together because that's his chick he's smashing. So they running the bag up. She got him in all these big circles, around all these big people, and they basically is, how can I say, is really um mentoring him to take Al Sharpton's spot. Because he's the one that's gonna take Al Sharpton's spot. Right? That's why they propping Mike's song, right?
A lot of these dudes want Al Sharpton's spot. Al Sharpton been doing this since the 80s, right? They all want his spot, right? A lot of these dudes, I'm gonna just keep it real with you. Even though Al Sharpton got his forts and his things, and he was in them streets, he was kind of more authentic than a lot of these other dudes. A lot of them is just clout chasers. At least he was out there in the street marching and doing something, you know. Even though he ain't, you know, he did something. I'm gonna say that. But when it comes to the people like the Mysons, the people like Hawk Newsom, and all these other people, these are people that are basically clout chasing activists. They social media dudes. And you can see that's what they is. They not stopping nothing in the community. They not getting no programs for people. At least Al Sharpton had National Action Network, and he did get brothers jobs. You know, OG Mac and a lot of them, the gang dudes, uh, was working with Al Sharpton. Him, the Jim Browns. They gave these brothers jobs. That's how a lot of gang dudes back in the '90s was coming home, getting into activism because dudes like Al Sharpton and all them elders, they was giving them programs. But these dudes ain't giving none of these dudes that's come home from jail no type of programs. They may give them a little 80,000 here, but that's on some money shit. You know, I know what he is. Yo, conscious. I know exactly who he is. You ain't got to tell me. Then you just heard what I said. He was dabbling in the streets, so I know exactly what he did. I know exactly who and what. I know all of that. That ain't nothing new, bro. That's why I said, bro. He did some good and he did some fucked up. I'm not. I ain't say I'm a big supporter. I'm saying what it is. I respect him more than I respect the Mike Songs and the Hawk Newsoms. Them niggas is hustlers. They con man. You know, they don't even give no programs to nobody. At least Al Sharpton them actually went to crack houses and marched. These niggas is scared to go up in the hood and march. I'm just being honest with you. Just being honest. Just being honest. These niggas in the projects, they go to the places like Jimmy Jazz and barking on females. I put the y'all seen the video. I had it on my channel. You know, y'all seen it. Y'all seen the video with my song, right? Y'all seen him barking on the chick in the Jimmy Jazz. Not him. The Trife was the one, but they was in there screaming on the women in there. You know, so a lot of them dudes is scam artists. They scared of the dudes that's doing the violence in the community, and they don't want to bring no solutions to the brothers in the streets. So Hawk Newsom is a fraud. My son is a fraud. They all the same type of entity. That's why them dudes, like even them dudes, them with them Occupy Wall Street niggas. That what's the Spanish nigga? He was another one. You know what I'm saying? Them dudes was like frauds. I forgot that dude name. The cop watching nigga. I forgot his name, but them dudes did like y'all dudes is all right. Y'all doing the cop watch, cool. Niggas been doing that for years. But what is the solutions you gonna bring? I ain't hear none of these niggas say, yo, we gonna get nonprofit programs. None of that. A lot of these dudes got nonprofit programs, and them nonprofits ain't doing nothing. They basically feeding their lifestyle. They taking the nonprofit money and tricking it on themselves and on women. That's what they doing. Taking trips, buying cars, buying condos, buying houses out of town. They not. Hold on one second. This sucker nigga from Virginia in my motherfucking comment section. Let me say this to this dude here, right? And then I'm gonna get back to my topic. Dog, your wife left you. You fell in love with a chick online. She left you, the motivational speaker chick. the one that lost all the weight. She left you, right? And then you get online talking heavy to me and you beg for my wrench. Nigga, I didn't want to give you no wrench. You begged on my platform for a wrench. You's a sucker. You upset because I didn't bring you to Clubhouse. And then you had your means to pull that stunt out there in LG. And when we came outside, me and my cousin, we didn't see your means. So you ain't nothing but a sucker. And you let the nigga Mr. Jackson, uh, the nigga that father was the traffic cop, mom's worked at the bank, sister was law enforcement, and I think son is law enforcement. The nigga that was Hassan moderator, you let that nigga press you because you in Virginia with that nigga. He's a cold bitch too and a fake gangster. And he's getting extorted. If I'm not mistaken, he gotta pay niggas monthly in jail because he's a rat and he can't go back to South Jamaica, Queens. Make this make sense. Why am I arguing with niggas that can't go back into their neighborhood? The other nigga from Newark, New Jersey, he's not even from fucking Virginia. He's from Newark, New Jersey. He's in Virginia like the other nigga from that was Hassan moderator, that was Shanks King's right hand man. He didn't even pop for his mans when his nigga got his bottle, his snap box rock, and got his bottle popped in the middle of the street because he tried to rob a nigga and thought he was gonna blow a nigga nose and the nigga blew his nose, right? So when you got these dudes that always bringing up my name and they always talk about me, dog, I got nothing but receipts on you dudes. Y'all dudes did bad. Ain't nothing else to talk about. Y'all dudes did bad. Now let's get back to what I was saying about the topic. So yeah, these dudes is taking the nonprofit money and they not even using the nonprofit money for the community. These dudes is they helping the police. They getting free tickets to fights. This is what these dudes is doing with the nonprofit money, with the community. They take the nonprofit money. That's why I told people, like, when I start my nonprofit program, yeah, Bullis Gotti is starting his own nonprofit program. When I start my own nonprofit, we gonna take those resources. We gonna help brothers out. We gonna help the youngins out. We gonna show them different things. We gonna get them. We gonna have investors. We gonna show them how to be bosses, right? That's what I want to help the community. Basketball, y'all want to do sports. We gonna do all of that, right? That's what I'm gonna do with my nonprofit because I'm gonna show that these older dudes, right, that's in their 40s and 50s that got nonprofit programs and say they former street dudes that been in jail, right? They haven't done anything for the dude. This is why dudes is getting their noodles knocked in the streets every day in New York City because they ain't got nothing for them. This is why they got robberies at an all-time high. This is why killings they don't got nothing for them. They could tell you to drop a flag, but they don't got nothing, no solutions and nothing for them. They just telling you, oh, just drop a flag. Okay, I drop a flag, but what do you got for me after I drop this flag? You ain't got a job for me. You ain't got a program for me. You ain't got nothing for me. You know? All you doing is fat in your pockets. Going to the going to the strip club, trying to be next to rappers and entertainers. Y'all go on some of these dudes' pages and look what they do with the non-profit money. They wearing designer clothes, looking like rappers. They not activists. They not community. These are scammers. Scammers. Cons community. That's why they died. They died. That community died, bro. They died. That's why Sinetta fell all the way the fuck off. You know? Because basically they have a platform that ain't growing. Salute, Water God, peace. They got a platform that ain't growing. Why? Because what they do, they fake beef. They take money from each other. They don't want to pay each other. They beef with each other, but they talking about they for the community and education. These dudes is tricking in strip clubs and they telling you they got schools. Come on, man. They talking about FBA, but they out here doing the people wrong and copywriting. This is my thing with the FBA movement, right? Because I'm a big supporter of FBA, right? Because I like what it talks about. us being our nationality, us being indigenous and all that, right? And being here on these lands. But my thing with FBA is this: how y'all allow Tyreek to copyright, patent, and trademark a movement that's supposed to be a movement for everybody? You know what I'm saying? And that's why that movement is never going to grow, because it's not about people coming together and building resources together. It's about fattening the pockets. These dudes is not, they don't got, Tariq don't got a board. That's why when I look at people like Johnny Cochran, John Conyers, like the elders like that, and Charles Ogletree, those brothers had a board. Nobody copywritten the name. They came together, they say, yo, we doing this for reparations. We doing this for the human rights. This is what we want. This is what we trying to do. And they was about building each other up. It wasn't about none of that. But you gotta remember, these people ain't activists. These people ain't community people. You have to look at the people that you calling leaders. These are people that are hustlers. These are street dudes. And once a street dude is always a street dude. When he finds a new hustle, he's not focusing on a community. He's focusing on what could persify my bag. What could persify my portfolio? What could take me to the next level in life? What could make me so huge? Like, you gotta realize, these dudes been doing this since Blog Talk Radio, right? These dudes that be on here. Some of these dudes been doing this for years, and they found a get rich scheme. That's why you got people talking relationship shit, and they hustling people on that, right? That's why the relationship shit, that lane ain't working. So you know what the lane is? Let me be a black conservative. Let me put on a Make America Great Again hat. Let me shuck and jive. Let me be anti-immigrant, but I'm married to an immigrant, but I'm gonna act like I don't fuck with immigrants. And let me get this bag. You know? This is what these people do. They pimp the culture, and they know our people is very emotional when it comes to subjects of people doing them wrong. So they grab on the drawstrings of the emotions. Now, a lot of elders got their fault, but at least the elders was in the streets with the people, and they was out there, you know, talking the talk and walking the walk. See, I respect the elders and how they move. I don't respect none of these other dudes. I don't respect them because they the way they move is, I gotta get a bag. I gotta get rich. Okay? And that's what it is. But they cry about, oh, I'm being blackballed. Oh, this is happening to me. But they don't talk about how they out here marginalizing, eating off of the poor, eating off the working class, eating off of middle class people, taking money out their pocket with their fake causes. These dudes ain't doing nothing for the community. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Not these conscious dudes, not these ambulance chasers dudes like Hawk Newsom and Myson. Not none of these dudes. Ain't doing nothing. They do a lot of this, but they don't do no action. They could do a lot of this. This is all they could do, but they don't do no action. They don't got nothing for nobody in the community, and they ain't never gonna have nothing for nobody in the community. That's all it is. A bunch of shit talkers with a bag that get a bag, and then when they lose a bag, they crying about, I need the money. Okay? So y'all gotta be mindful who y'all calling leaders, man. Smash the like button, man. 59 people in here. Come on, man. Let's get 100 likes. Y'all gotta be mindful who y'all call leaders. So let's talk about it, man. It's a lot going on. Bobby Shmurda got jumped in Minnesota. Um, Young Thug, uh, Lil Durk. Let's talk about a lot of these things that's going on. Let me talk about the Diddy thing. Um, so y'all know I watched the Diddy documentary one time. I didn't watch it again, but I watched it one time. Um, I watched it on Netflix. When it first dropped. and people people was telling me, oh yeah, 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 I'm gonna talk about that. Matter of fact, let me talk about that real quick. Cause I'm gonna get on to the Diddy thing, but let me talk about the Mexican thing. Cause I just seen that with the Mexican podcasters in California. And this is my thing to the California people. And I love my brothers and sisters in Cali. I got no hate. I just wish that they change their frequency up in California. Is in every city need to do this. Is that the hate that we show each other, killing each other, robbing each other, they gotta stop that. You know? So let me say this. Let me say this about the Mexican podcaster. Now I saw a Mexican female calling out Mexican gang members and saying where the cholos is at. Like she was talking about the Florencias, um, what's the other one? Southsiders and the Mexican mafia was basically telling them where y'all are at when ICE is going after us, going hard, and that it's civilians out here that's going hard for their people. And they basically was saying that the Serranos and all them dudes wasn't coming out, the Florencias and all them, they wasn't coming out doing nothing when ICE steamrolled LA in California, but mostly LA, right? So I've been watching, I've been seeing, and this is my thing with the brothers in Cali, right? Y'all gotta remember, right? California is what you call Mexican land. That's why they keep going there. Mexico, Texas, California, that's their land, right? That's not predominantly, that was never our land. A lot of our family went to California from the South. So they came from Mississippi. Few of them came from, if they did come from like the Southeast, they came because of military. Because a lot of people, like a lot of my family members, they went out there that was in the Southeast. They went over there from the military, right? So that's how they ended up there. But the majority of people that's there, they come, like my grandfather was from Memphis, and a lot of his family that was from Arkansas, Mississippi, Memphis, they all went to California, right? But it was for us to go there for a better life and to do better. But what people gotta understand, those cities wasn't made for us to be successful. They was made for the Caucasian to be successful. So that's why a lot of us had to either go back to the South and start over again or stay there and deal with what they deal with. If you look, they did the redlining to a lot of those communities. Compton was a whole suburban community. Crenshaw, these are all suburban communities, California, all of them, suburban communities. But they'll make you say that they was hoods. Peace to the Philippines. Peace and blessings to the Philippines. They'll tell you that these is hoods. Salute Wu Tang. They'll tell you that these places is hoods, but they're not hoods. They what they did was is that what they did was they redlined the community and the property value went down, just like they did in New York. The property value went down in a lot of communities that was also white communities. So if you take the property value down, because you see a melanated family coming in, black family, coming into the community, you're going to see that basically the people is going to flee. And a lot of those Caucasian families flee to Orange County, the outskirts of California. They didn't stay in LA no more. They just got up out of LA County at a whole, you know. And that's just like in New York. They didn't stay in the five boroughs. They went to Long Island, Rochester, Buffalo, all these different places because they just didn't want to be around melanated people. And that's just what it is because they looked at it as, oh, these blacks is coming. It's too many of them. property value going down. We don't want to live amongst them, and that's what happened. Fast forward, the Mexicans took a hold in California. They got a stronghold in California, like in the '90s. They started. They was coming in the '50s. They was coming in the '60s. They was coming in the '70s. They was coming even in the '40s. But they really got like a stronghold the '80s, '90s, even the '70s, right? And 2000s. And till this day, they have a real stronghold in LA to the point that if you look at LA, just look at California in general, they are the dominant party out there. It's just what it is. Compton was a full community of black people. Compton is now a full community of Mexicans. And there's many other communities in LA where you see a lot of that was our communities is now Mexican communities. East LA was also a black community, but that became a full Mexican community. By the time the '70s, going in the '80s, it was predominantly Mexican. And California is Mexico. If we want to be technical, Texas is Mexico. Arizona is Mexico. So these people, it's already they land by default if we really want to look at it. So when you hear these dudes talking the way they talking on these podcasts, it's because they got the power structure in California. Let's keep it real. They have the power structure in California. If you got Mexican politicians lobbying for their people, you have Mexican police officers. Everybody in the community is of them. Now, Northern California is a little different. It's a little different. But like I said, in Southern Cal, which LA is Southern Cal, right? You know, it's Mexican out, you know, and that's why they talk the way they talk on the platforms and they say what they say about them. You got to remember they have an issue with the black dudes over women. That's what it really is about. It's over the women, because a lot of those brothers out there is, and I'm gonna keep it real. A lot of brothers in California, just in LA, I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna say in all in California, but the brothers in LA, they have a mindset where it's very, very, very distasteful for their women, and they love lighter hue women out there, especially in LA. So they like an exotic looking woman, you know. So they dealing with a Mexican chick or a chick that's half Mexican, half black, or they dealing with a Persian chick. They dealing like they dealing with chicks that's mixed race or not of the race. So a lot of they beefs in California be over that, the women. And a lot of those brothers will tell you out there, you got some brothers out there that parade they black women, right? But a lot of them, they got mixed women or they got exotic looking women. You go to LA and you look at all the brothers out there. This is facts. LA is very heavy on the colorism. You know what I'm saying? And if they do got a black baby mama, they treating them like shit. When they start leveling up and they start getting that bag out there in LA and they start moving out to Hollywood, they could be a dude from Compton. They could be a dude from Crenshaw. When they get that bag and they get that big bag, you start seeing how they wife look. They either light skin, real light, mulatto type, biracial. They either Mexican, half Mexican. They either Asian, half Asian, and that's what it is. So a lot of these brothers, and they know that. I done had conversations with some of my LA dudes. They tell you, like when they get their paper up, and the sisters even say that. They say it all the time. These brothers is real colorism. They do colorism out here. You know what I'm saying? And it's not from the it's from the young and the old. You hear it even from the rappers out there. You know? So I'm not saying this. This is what the people out there in LA saying. And like I said, I got nothing but love for the brothers out there. And a lot of they beefs with the Mexicans is over those women. Let's just keep it real. It's over those Mexican ladies. That's what a lot of the beefs be with the Mexican dudes and the black dudes. You know what I'm saying? Because they may be sleeping with their sister. They may be sleeping with their cousin. And they feel some type of way because them people is a clannish type of people, Mexican people. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? They a clannish type of people. So they feel some type of way. You smashing women in my community. That's what the white dudes be about with black dudes. Oh, y'all sleeping with our women. That's why you hear Stephen Miller talking about white men, y'all gotta impregnate your white women again. Yeah, and the crazy part is you have a lot of them in the Bloods, the Crips, a lot of Mexicans being Bloods, Crips, a lot of Hispanics. But in Cali, it's a lot of Mexicans that's Bloods, that's Crips, right? But you can't be a Serrano. You can't be a Florencia. You can't be none of those things. They not having that. If you look at they jails, right? They jails is very segregated. Now, people talk about New York. They talk about the a lot of us, we grew up with Puerto Ricans and Dominicans. A lot of them was our classmates. A lot of them was our neighbors. So we have a real rapport. The only thing is when they go to jail, Rikers Island, you had them gangs, or back in them days, you had them gangs like Latin Kings and all that. And it trickle off. But a lot of those Puerto Rican brothers was 5%ers. You understand what I'm saying? And then they left the 5%, got on some Puerto Rican pride shit, and they started joining the Latin Kings and all that. But when we grow up with these people and you in the same community with these people, it's a difference. See, like when the Bloods took over the jails in New York City, a lot of those Puerto Rican cats joined the Bloods, right? A lot of them Spanish cats, they joined the Bloods. They got down with them, right? Former Latin Kings in LA County prisons, whether you in San Quentin, Folsom, no Mexican is switching sides to join no black gang, no shape or form. They staying with their Mexican brothers and they banging out with their Mexican brothers. That's just what it is. That's their politics. That's how they give it up. That's how they is in the streets. That's how they is in the prisons. They riding with their Mexican brothers and sisters. It's not gonna be like in New York where Puerto Rican gonna come and join your side and gonna ride out with you against his other Puerto Rican. It's not gonna be none of that. It's not gonna be none of that. A Mexican gonna stand with another Mexican and he gonna kill you with another Mexican. You know what I'm saying? California is the only prison where everybody is banging on everybody. That's how California prison. And every time I hear that, I be like, damn, that is some segregated shit. In 2025, you got the Aryan Brotherhood you got to deal with, and the only people that the Mexicans team up with is the Aryans. They teaming up with the white supremacists against the blacks. So, and they do that in the feds, and they do that in the California state prison. So they not with no, oh, we sticking together because we minorities. No, they ain't doing none of that. They teaming up with the cracker and they busting you in your fucking head. Straight like that. Mexicans is joining up with the Aryan Brotherhood and they laying you down. They laying you down with the Aryan Brotherhood. And they doing this in the feds and they doing this in the state. You understand what I'm saying? So when you hear them get on podcasts and say what they saying, let's just keep it real. When you hear them on the podcast and they saying what they saying about us on these podcasts and the brothers in California, and especially the brothers in LA, is not standing up on that shit. And you got these dudes like the Wack 100s and all these other dudes, they tread lightly, but you allowing these dudes to talk crazy. Like I've heard these dudes say, I ain't signing to no niggas, but they want black rappers in LA to help them out. I'm like, damn, y'all really on that type of timing? You know what I'm saying? Like they really on that type of timing. You know? Like these dudes, they say, yo, they stay over there, we stay over here. And that's when I said, oh, they is that's the type of shit. That's why I look at the Northern Cal dudes, like the dudes in the Bay, they different from the dudes from LA. And that's why I had this thing. And I'm gonna keep it real. This brought up the conversation just for y'all to listen. Um, I feel like Wack 100, in my opinion, got all the black gangsters that was in LA off the street, so the Mexican gangsters could do the bullying in the streets. Y'all notice that? That all like the black dudes that had like structure in LA, you know, a lot of them is either dead or they locked up. And now all these Mexican gang dudes is coming out the woodwork. Like you ain't never seen none of these dudes having a voice. They wasn't having that. Now all of a sudden, you know, you got these Mexican dudes coming out the woodwork. Like when Suge Knight and the Del Dogs and the Mike Concepcions and all these dudes, like when they was on the street, it was like T Rogers also. It was kind of like some structure up shit. And then like now, when you look at LA, you know, they get Big U off the street. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not a pro Big U dude, you know, because I ain't like what happened to Nipsey and all that. And not to say that he had anything to do with it, but I just didn't like, you know, what was going on with that. But I just noticed like since Big U been incarcerated, like LA is really like these dudes is really this whack nigga is really getting these black dudes that have pull in LA off the streets or getting them wiped down. Del Dog was very strong in LA at one point. Y'all know if y'all don't know who he is, that was the you know he was the big dog in Main Street, you know. And if you look at that case, Stutterbox was Wack 100 homie, you know, and you know Stutterbox was dealing with Shawnee O'Neal, and he was trying to threaten. And then next thing you know, uh, they try to get some of the case. Del Dog gets murdered, and then all of a sudden, you see Wack 100. Like you see him more and more, but you didn't hear a peep from this dude. Like he wasn't talking as how he's been talking for years. I never understood this. Like in my opinion, when I hear Wack talk, it's like, where was this dude at in the 2000s? Like we knew all the LA dudes, just you know, like the Del Dogs, the D Max, you know, the Shugs. We knew who Bone was, you know, Monster Code. We knew who these dudes was because we heard these names or we seen these faces, but we never seen Wack until he was on reality TV with Ray J, and then you know he was doing a lot of woofing and out here yelling and screaming. So when I noticed that niggas is going to jail around. Like Wack ain't getting active in the streets. I've never heard him like get active going to war with niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas be like, I've never seen like his goons, you know, put work in on somebody. I've noticed that he was the one that run his mouth, he exposing shit, but then he hiding behind niggas, you know? And this is when I knew, like, after his brother, peace, Queen, how are you? How are you? How are you, S? How are you? Um, I noticed that Wack when I seen the shit in Texas that a nigga killed his brother, Leroy Smith, and opened up a burger stand in Oklahoma. His brother, right? Wack 100's brother and Wack was extorting this dude, right? Big Wack, right? His brother Zach, but they call him Big Wack. Big Wack was extorting him and Wack was extorting this dude, Leroy Smith, trying to extort him, and he wasn't going for that. And he aired that nigga out and his employee in the office, but he really wanted to air Wack out, but Wack wasn't in town. Wack was in California. So when Wack gets in town, he gets stopped in Texas, and the state trooper that stopped him, they found guns, weed residue, all type of stuff in the car. And then he does, well, I think it's a 1 hour and 59-minute interview with the police, and he had to give this man location up. He definitely gave this man location up. Because if you got a audio and a recording and we can't get our hands on it, you gave that man location up. And you did a lot of talking. You know, I'm not telling the police that my brother was killed. If I'm in traffic and I'm going to my brother's funeral, I'm not telling the police that my brother was killed. You know, and like I said, Hood Hampton salute. Um, these dudes, when you see Wack doing that, he's a confidential informant for the police. This man had Greg Caden, Nap salute. This man had Greg Caden and Reggie Wright, one a crooked cop, Reggie Wright, um, and a snitch. Another one, another lying, dirty cop, Greg Caden. This dude had two police officers to speak for him, to say that he didn't have nothing to do with the Main Street case, but his character is in this show called what's the shit? The Biggie and Tupac. It's in the murder rap book, but the show is on look it up. It's the Biggie and Tupac show that they did for USA. It's on Netflix where his character is in there. Now it's a character that they say is loosely based on Stutterbox, right? That the dude that played Uncle Jerome, he's playing this character, right? And then it's a part in there where they going into Wack's truck, the scene, and they find Straight Stunting magazine. Now, if y'all want to know the story that I'm told, the show that I'm talking about, I'm gonna give y'all the name of it. Hold on one second. I'm gonna tell y'all the show, and I think it's on Tubi if I'm not mistaken, or Netflix. But if y'all on Netflix, it's episode 5. It's actually episode 5 or 6 where they talking about Suge, and they basically was trying to trap Suge on a drug conspiracy, and they was saying that they was running drugs on trucks, but it come to find out Suge had nothing to do with no drugs, and he wasn't moving no drugs on no truck. But the dude Stutterbox was saying it because he was in fear for his life of the dude Del Dog and the Invaders, who was known in LA, who was very big out there, and they was very strong. Hold on, I'm about to show y'all the show right now. Hold on. Let me see if it's right here. Hold on. Let me see. Is it here? Cause it was on Netflix. I don't know. They must be took it off. Hold on. Let me see if it ain't on Netflix, it gotta have moved to Tubi. Hold on. But it's episode 5. It's actually episode 5. Hold on one second. Let me go to Tubi real quick. It's episode 5. When y'all watch episode 5 or 6, character is based on Wack, but the character is based on Stutterbox, and Stutterbox was really running for his life, and he was scared of, them dudes. They was going to really hurt him, you know, and he basically was he was out there saying he was going to put a video out there on Shawnee. And when they did the show, when they did the documentary Murder Rap, you hear him talk about the truck. I'm going inside the truck, but they ain't find nothing. They ain't find nothing in the truck. They ain't find nothing at all. Let me see. Let me see if it's in here. Hold on. They ain't find nothing in the truck. Unsolved. That's the name of the show. Unsolved. Unsolved. That's the name of the show. Unsolved. Yeah, I had to think. I had to think about it. Unsolved. So yeah, if y'all looking for that show, Unsolved, right, which is based on Biggie and Tupac, it's episode 5. When y'all watch that show, like I said, the character on that show is based on Wack. Okay? The part where they go into the truck, that's Wack's truck that they went in. Okay? With the straight stunting magazines. This is how his story and him and Stutterbox was working for law enforcement for years. For years. He's working for law enforcement for years. And the sorry part about it is that these dudes say they gangsters. You know what I'm saying? How you cool with a dude that you saying you don't fuck with snitches, but you cool with a nigga that told on Shaq, but when a nigga says something about you, you flip the script and start banging on the nigga. But if the nigga didn't say nothing about you, you wouldn't bang on that nigga. We started hearing about Wack. The first time I seen Wack was in a Millie video, but I didn't know who the fuck he was. But the first time I saw him talk is when K Slay, he had K Slay in Compton in a video. No, they was in the Fruit Towns and they went to Compton and he was in there talking. And then the next time I seen dude was on Love and Hip Hop LA. That was the next time I seen dude. And then when I seen him, when I really heard him talk, yeah, he in the Millie video. He's like in the beginning of the Millie video or the end of the Millie video when Wayne get off the bus. He next to Birdman. He got the white t-shirt on. But like the second time I heard this dude was probably when he came on. Yeah, yeah. Thanks S Hutchinson for that. I'm a tag. Let me put that right there. Thanks S for putting that in the chat. So right there, y'all see the link? Y'all click that. Y'all see right there? That's pinned it. Unsolved. Go check it out. Episode 5. That's the episode that Wack 100 is in. That's the episode where they go to his truck and they actually raided his truck and they found nothing but straight stunting magazines. But the dude Stutterbox was saying that they basically was doing this and that. You know what I'm saying? But the dude Wack, I just noticed that he worked for them people. You know, let's just keep it real, right? He talk all this big bad gangster shit, right? Online. That's why I tell people, everybody being tested, and you gotta study motherfuckers. And when you study people, you understand the type of individuals you're dealing with. And I studied homie online. And when you really know what type of dude he is, he's a manipulator. You know what I'm saying? He just don't like the fact that people call him a truck driver. Should call him a truck driver. He didn't like the fact of that. He had money, right? He had money, and he got in the industry off of that money shit because he was doing trucking. But he's not what he say he is. Y'all gotta really look at this dude history. He went to jail for shooting his neighbor with a pellet gun. He didn't go to jail for a murder with a handgun. He didn't go to jail for selling drugs. He didn't go to jail for robbing anybody. He went to jail for shooting his neighbor, what was it, 32 times with a pellet gun, a BB gun. Okay? That's what he went to jail for. He went to jail for that. That's not, and the way he talk is like he's this, oh, I'm a street dude. Cause I went to jail. I mean, bro, you went to jail for shooting somebody with a pellet gun. You trying to be shook. You empty a pellet gun on somebody. That right there just showed me that you is not who you say you is. You a fraud. So when people be acting like he this, and he got niggas shook. I be online, I'm hearing niggas that's known West Coast rappers on Clubhouse. I'm not gonna put no names out there, but I'm talking about known West Coast personalities, known West Coast rappers, that had a couple hits. He's punking these niggas like they cold bitches. And I'm saying to myself, hold on. You mean to tell me this dude 5 for 5 talking to these dudes greasy, dudes that call themselves real street dudes. He talking to y'all greasy, and y'all not doing. And yo, Soy, if I tell you, Soy Sauce Bulls, if I tell you the West Coast rapper that got quiet when he came in the room, I don't want to blow him up because me and him good money. That's my guy. We chop it up all the time. But if I tell you who he is, he's a known West Coast rapper. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna put his name out there. But when that man came in the room and started barking on niggas in there, that man didn't get off the mic. That man called that man name. He didn't get off the mic and said a motherfucking word, bro. And I said, hold up, bro. This nigga got niggas scared like this? That's how I know, like, that nigga's a blackmailing nigga. And y'all gotta look. That's why the game fired him. Because he's a blackmailer. What he does is he has leverage over niggas. So he the type of nigga that's supplying these niggas females. You understand what I'm saying? He the type of nigga, like, look at what he did to De La Hoya. He gave Floyd the video with the pictures of De La Hoya in the fishnet and the high heels. He gave Floyd that. He admitted that he gave him that. So when you have a blackmailing nigga like that, I wouldn't be surprised that he set the game up with Shorty that was on for the love of game. That's why the game let him go and fire him. Because game looking like, yo, damn, this nigga ain't conducting my business. And then somebody told me that he ain't even bring the game in my room. That somebody else. I'm not gonna even put them out there. But they told me they brought the game. I'm like, what? And showed me the receipts. So that's why I said, like, these niggas be liars and con men that you can't take these dudes serious, bro. Can't take these dudes serious. Wack been online. He talk all this. He's a boss, this, manager, that. He's a janky promoter, bro. Every time I see Wack, I think of Ice Cube and Mike Epps and janky promoter, bro. That's Wack 100, bro. Them niggas was a part of California. Was Modesto. They from Modesto County. That niggas from the Valley. Pacoima. That nigga right there is a janky promoter. Straight up and down. And the game let the janky promoter go. Ray J really and truly going through all the BS he going through because he got a janky promoter that's around him. These dudes, you can see these dudes' careers ain't going nowhere with that dude as a manager. Nowhere. He just attached himself behind people on some janky promoter shit. That's what he do. He attach himself and he make himself seem like he's this and that. and he really not who he say he is. I had to really look. I say, hold on, bro. This dude, I used to say to myself all the time, salute, beast stinger. I had to say to myself all the time, like, this dude online every day and night, and he got clients that's expecting him to do some power moves for them. And you telling me this janky promoter is online more than he's doing tours, tours, booking shows, booking studio sessions, negotiating deals. This dude is out here online doing all of this, being a janky promoter. That's when I knew, like, oh, this dude is a janky promoter, bro. He's a fraud. You know what I'm saying? He's a janky promoter, bro. He's not even a real manager, bro. He talk a good one. You know what I'm saying? And then dudes really believed him. Like, I never believed him. I knew he was full of BS, bro. I just knew he was full of BS, just the conversation wise. You know, he like Frank Gary, like, and they both Aries. Both of them is Aries. Like, they talk a good one, but they ain't doing nothing for nobody. That man said on his platform that, yo, we gonna do a podcast. That's what homie said. Cash said we gonna do a podcast. He telling these dudes the podcast didn't do nothing at all. The 100 ENT podcast didn't do nothing at all. And then he let Reek go, violated Reek. Reek was the one that was carrying the thing. Reek was going hard for this dude, you know? And then boom, Reek got him out of there. You know what I'm saying? Then you got old boy. What's other dude? Um, all them dudes on Clubhouse. They yo, let me tell you something. That dude had people on Clubhouse believing they was gonna get a reality TV show on Zeus Network. He told them niggas, I'm gonna get you up, I'm gonna get you. Like me personally, I never conducted business. I gave people reach out to me, like R. Kelly cousin, shout out to Levi, that's my bro. He reached out to me. He said, yo, can you get me in contact with Wack? Can you give me Wack number so I could get Patch Robert with him? I did that. I said, yo, I got you. Boom. I linked that up. I link things up for people. They want to speak to the dude. But me, far as me doing business with homie, never did business with homie. I knew homie was full of shit. I ain't doing business with him. He a Aries, bro. I know Aries, bro. Aries niggas, that's how they move. Look at Sarnetta. Sarnetta's a Aries. That nigga's full of shit. And I'm not saying all Aries, but the Aries I've done business with, Roski, Sarnetta, Wack, which I did no business with Wack. They all the same. They all the same. I never gave up on the Most High. I'm blessed every day. What you talking about? God is good all the time, brother. I ain't never gave up on the Most High. You must be don't listen to me. You must be don't look at my platform. I always give thanks to the Creator. Crazy. I wouldn't be here talking to you if I gave up on him. But yeah, he's a fraud, man. You know what I'm saying? Then that nigga wanna have like he wanna be on some pimping shit. You know what I'm saying? You can't you the dude white, like this is the crazy part about Wack, right? The thing about homie is he got this girl R&B, right? Now mind y'all, R&B. Hold on one second, y'all. Hold on one second, y'all. Hold on one second. Don't hang up. Hold on one second. Hold on one. Sorry about sorry about that. So you got dude, right? He fell in love with a chick online. Now the girl Mika, y'all know who she is. I just saw something with Maino where he had a video with Son on the bed, right? Now Maino got that video probably from the girl Mika. right? Now, mind you, the girl Mika came from my platform. I brought her over there. Like, I brought her over there to Hunter Side one time, and she came over there. Y'all can't hear me? Y'all can hear me? Put a one in the chat if y'all can hear me. If y'all can't hear me, I gotta come back in. Y'all can hear me? No audio. Oh, hold on one second. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Y'all can hear me? All right. Y'all can hear me then. All right, good, good, good. Y'all can hear me. I don't know who else can hear me, but everybody put one in the chat if y'all can hear me. Y'all can hear me? All right, y'all can hear me. All right, good, good, good. Because somebody said they couldn't hear me. So I brought Mika over there to the dude channel. No, I didn't bring her to the channel. I brought her over there to the space. And he used to come to my space. The girl was I ain't, y'all can say clout chaser, whatever, right? She went over there, she got with the dude, and worst come to worst, they had the situation, and then she exposed the dude, right? Now, mind you, this dude had a bunch of chicks that used to frequent my spaces, and he done wifed them up. Now, my thing is, his wife was online. Like, why is you wifing up women that ain't your woman, and you wifing them up online? And then they blowing you up. Say, yo, this nigga is in my DMs. They blowing this nigga up. You know what I'm saying? So that dude is a crazy nigga, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's why he got the Mexicans. He the reason why this whole Mexican thing going on right now, because he getting all the black niggas out of LA, and he doing what he doing. But that's fucking crazy though. That's crazy though. Shoving one finger in his backside is crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, um, what we talking about now? The Diddy documentary. So I seen the Diddy documentary, like I told y'all. I seen it. I watched it. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all, right? A lot of those dudes got personal animosity with Diddy, and that's understandable. But my thing is, you can't blame that man for nobody death. Tupac, Biggie was killed by the police. That's documented. It wasn't killed by no puff. It was documented that the police murdered these men. Right? They did a total of 20 to 30 documentaries on these dudes. And they all said David Mack, Rafael Perez, Kevin Gaines, and Amir Muhammad was responsible for the deaths of Biggie and Tupac. Right? And they all had affiliations with who? Reggie Wright. Right? It's in an audio where Sharita Knight, right? Y'all can't hear my audio. Yo, why y'all? Hold on, man. Y'all can't hear me? Yo, put one in the chat because they say they can't hear me. If I'll come back, but please put one in the chat because everybody saying they can't hear me. I thought I could hear me. Oh, okay. Thank you. Cause I'm no, I'm tripping. Sharita Knight was on the phone with Reggie Wright. And yo, please, y'all coming in here, make sure y'all smash the like button. 56 likes. We need 100 likes. And if you love the platform and y'all want to support the platform, make sure y'all donate to the Cash App, $Bullets Gotti. If y'all love the content, please. Thank you. If y'all love the content. Because I got a lot of content coming. And the merch is coming real soon. I'm sorry I've been really delayed. I've been writing this book and everything. I got the merch coming. So let me get back to what I was saying. So Sharita Knight was on the phone with Reggie Wright Jr. And she basically said on the line that Kevin Gaines was Snoop Dogg's security guard, right? And that basically she knew Kevin Gaines because they had a relationship. They was sleeping together. So once they get to um Vegas, you hear the guards like Frank Alexander, Michael Moore, even Warren G even exposed it. Red Suge, they even exposed it on podcast that they was told not to bring guns from Reggie Wright. And they was also told and also heard on the walkie-talkie, we got him when Pac and Suge got shot. So how can these people hear these things on walkie-talkie, right? And they hearing it and they saying that that's what they heard. Salute, Versace. What's good, family? How you? And they saying that's what they heard. And then you gonna tell me that I'm gonna just sit there and believe that, oh, that was some Orlando. First of all, a lot of people don't even know Reggie Wright Pops helped out Orlando Anderson on video. He's in that video. He's in Vegas. Reggie Wright Pops helped out Orlando Anderson. It's in the video. It's facts. Okay? They knew he was going to be in that lobby. He was a patsy. Like, people got to look at common sense. If I shot somebody, right? Why would I have somebody that I shot at? I would go and testify on their behalf and say this and that if it was really what they trying to say it was, that it was over a chain, that it was over some East-West beef, that some LA dudes got firearms from a New York nigga. Y'all gotta make it make sense. Eric Von Zip was cool with Suge and them. So why would a man that's cool with them tell these dudes to do a murder? Why does Keefy D keep reneging and saying on platforms that they told me to say this? And if you listen to the actual, I listen to the actual audio. That's what people gotta understand. I listen to the actual audio. And in the actual audio, they telling him what to say. They basically coaching him what to say, right? So how the hell is we gonna believe that Puff, because of some East-West beef, that this man gonna drop $1 million to knock somebody head off with a check, and they can't even get the paper trail or the traces of a check? And Keefy D has said multiple occasions that these cops told him if he said that he got a check or anything from Puff, that he will get a reduced sentence on his trafficking, his what was it? I think he got caught with PCP. Yeah, his PCP case. That he would get a reduced sentence and won't face no time on his PCP case. And in fact, they helped him out with his book. Yeah, his book that he did. So once he went to Vegas, the immunity was gone and he was just running his mouth. But what people got to realize is this: Keefy D is a pawn. He ain't had nothing to do with that shit. He know that, but he just got a big fucking mouth and he just put himself in that predicament. And that's what happened. Now, as far as the city college thing, let's talk about that. I was watching Gene Deal. Gene Deal is correct. Everybody mad at Puff. Everybody was talking about Heavy D. But nobody talked about Jessica Rosenblum, who y'all, if y'all don't know who she is, she was the one, she was Funk Flex manager for many years. She helped Chris Lighty. She helped Puff in the game. She used to work for Def Jam, the Rush Management she used to work for. She was big in the club scene. She was the reason that they brought uptown nightlife to downtown clubs, you know. But they don't talk about that this lady held the door and ran up out the spot with the money, right? Gene talked about it, but everybody else try to ignore that. What y'all trying to keep? Y'all trying to still be in her blessings? Y'all want to throw that man under the bus. He was the only one that got sued. He's the only one that paid everybody out. She didn't pay a damn thing. She kept doing party promotions in the Hamptons. She kept doing her things in Miami, Club Liquid, all these different places. Her, Chris Pacello, all these people, they doing the whole nightlife scene. And she never once, never once had to pay or been sued for City College after she locked the door, left the security, took the money, and got up out of there. They don't talk about that in the documentary. That's why I was like, they just gonna put this on this man and blame this man. I mean, okay, he did what he did, you know. Yeah, she closed the door. She closed the door. Jessica Rosenblum, she closed the door on everybody and basically ran off with the money. You know, y'all heard Maria Davis speak about her on Math Hoffa, you know, because she was a big party promoter and she had ties to Russell Simmons, Leo Cohen, you know, and like I said, she helped out Puff because Puff was a party promoter. He was a party promoter for so many years. Him and Chris Lighty, they got their start from her. You know, the tunnel, Chris Lighty used to work the door at the tunnel. She was the reason why Chris Lighty got a tunnel. And she managed DJ Enough and Funk Flex. You know what I'm saying? So she was the one that was the head of this, but she, and I'll keep it real, was the one that basically locked the goddamn door and let these people die in that damn and trying to blame this man when he was, it's videos of Puff really helping people. They don't show those videos, but it's actual videos of him in City College giving mouth to mouth, helping people. You know what I'm saying? She done left up out of there. She done took the money and went back downtown. Left everybody in it. She done left. But nobody talks about that. They all talk about Puff. Puff, Puff, Puff. That man been paying them people since 1999. The last payment he gave was in 2003. He been giving money. You understand what I'm saying? He been giving money. That's why he had to put everything in his kids' names because his shit was shot. So he put things in his kid's name and his mother's name because his things was shot. But when these dudes be lying on a platform and saying that, like Kurt Burrows, like, bruh, you wasn't you was the dude that financed the company because you had a legit business. You work for a movie studio, you know. You worked in the music industry. Wolf, Buck, L, they ran Bad Boy. That was they company with Puff. That was they Butt Naked Entertainment is Bad Boy Records. This is facts. You know what I'm saying? Once they transitioned from Butt Naked Entertainment, they became Bad Boy Records. You can't tell a story if you gonna make it seem like a nigga just took the company and it used the financier. They money was street money that they took into party promotion. They couldn't get a conversation with a Cloud Davis. So they need a Kurt Burrows in there that could help out and get Puff in that door to talk to Cloud Davis and he could sign the check and everybody could eat. But these dudes, they want to tell fictitious story like Mark Curry, like I told y'all in the video. Mark Curry, tell the truth, brother. You joined Bad Boy because of D-Mac. You was down with Heavy D. You came to New York. You was in a Heavy D studios. It was a McGruff studio session. You recorded with McGruff, Heavy D, and then boom, they put you in position. You got over there. D-Mac took you to Puff. Boom, you got signed a Bad Boy. But don't make it seem like you was a part of Bad Boy Records. Like you had a talent to be an artist. No, you had a talent to do writing. The man put you on the biggest record ever, Bad Boy for Life. You got, you know, you got plaques. Now, if he messed up his money in drug traffic, don't get mad, brother. That was your fault. You got to do your business more smarter, you know? So, documentary was all over the place, man. But I'm going to get back to that documentary. I want to talk about Cameron and the Beat 139. I want to talk about that real quick, too. Shout out to Doc. That's my guy. Shout out to Vito. I bang with them. You know what I'm saying? This is the crazy part, right? Um, Vito called, not Vito, Doc. Doc called me the day Mace had spoke about the situation with Big L, and he was very upset about it. And they had talked about it on What's the Number? Shout out to Batty Bills and my boy Pro Row. They talked about it, and I sent the link to Doc. Doc went on a live, and he spoke about it. McGruff was on there with him, right? This is my thing about the situation, right? I just think people need to heal. The 139 situation, NFL situation, is a sad situation. It's a cautionary tale of men that was brothers, that was homies, that was in the streets together, that ended up losing their lives over power, and you could say greed, right? And Big L lost his life, you know, sad situation. You know, he had a talent. Big L had a talent, you know, but he lost his life because of his brother beef, right? And everybody know this about Big L, you know, and I understand Doc's reasonings, the saying, you know, let's not do this, because he got nieces and nephews. That's understandable. They got nieces that's out there. Big Lee lost, you know, his son, R.I.P. Big Lee, and his little Lee. They still got a brother that's still living, Dawn, that's still alive. So it's a lot of old wounds, you know. Big L, you know, the way he died is sad. You know, it's very sad. I remember when he died. I remember when he got killed. He got killed in a project lobby. You understand what I'm saying? And he got killed the same day he was doing his signing party. It was a signing release party with Rockefeller. You understand? He had a big party that was going to happen that night with him signing the Rockefeller and Def Jam. And he was killed that same day. So the sad part is that, you know, it's a lot of emotions there. And it's a lot of history there. Now, I could see from Cam's point of view and I could see from Doc's point of view. Doc's point of view is that let's not talk about L like that. He not here to defend himself. Let's leave it alone. I could see that, right? But I could also see Mace's point of view, and I could also see Cam's point of view. They've been around L. They know L just like Doc know L. They all know each other. Everybody that's in this discrepancy all know each other. They all the same. They all in the same circle. They all was homies. You know. So this ain't like this is rank strangers. This is people that grew up in the same neighborhood, from the same area, all know each other. You understand what I'm saying? So when Mace said this is what happened to him, he's speaking his piece. When Cam say, yo, this is what happened, he never said, yo, I backed out Big Lee. You know what I'm saying? He said that the people he was with did that. He never said that. And that's why I kind of get what he's saying, yo, Doc, you wasn't there, homie. You can't. have an opinion on something that you wasn't there for. And I get that. And I understand Doc's passion too, because yo, that's my man. I'm not gonna let y'all violate. But I just think that everybody need to heal. I think everybody need to leave that alone. That's a touchy situation. And it's a situation where a lot of people lost their lives, man. Y'all gotta look at that Big L situation. A lot of people lost their lives years after Big L and Big Lee died. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of people lost their lives. G lost his life. You understand what I'm saying? Because of things that he did. You know what I'm saying? That's a sad situation too. You know what I'm saying? You come home from jail and people tell you not to come to the event. Like don't come here because you could be making people uncomfortable to the point they want to do something. And he lost his life. You know what I'm saying? And then Big Lee's son lost his life. So it's a lot of things where people is healing and they don't really need them old wounds open up. You know what I'm saying? I just think that need to just be let go. I just think I think Cam and Doc, they need to just squash that and let it go. Like the people on the internet is shits and giggles, is laughing and it's funny, but it's really a dangerous situation that a lot of people lost their. I'm telling y'all facts. I'm not lying to y'all. People really lost their lives with that Big L situation. You understand what I'm saying? And we talking about recent times. We not talking about 1999, 2002, 2003. We talking about 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018. We talking about in the 2020s, 2010s, I mean. We talk that's how recent. So I think people need to just leave that alone and let these people heal. Because one thing about Harlem, it could be 20 years, it could be 30 years, it could be 40 years. When somebody want to get at you, they're going to get at you. And that's how it is. Old beefs is never healed. Cause like I always believe, people got family, people got loved ones, and somebody is going to cash them checks. So that's why I said people need to just stop, man. Leave that alone. Dudes that's calling Doc a rat and saying all this and disrespecting Doc, don't do that because that man doing positive thing. That man about his family, he doing positive thing in the community. I fuck Doc's my dude. That's my guy. That's that like me and him. We talk on a real level. I fucks with Doc heavy. Vito too, Keith Cash, those my guys. You understand what I'm saying? I've been on the platform 2 times. You know what I'm saying? Those is my peoples. So I tell people all the time, like, niggas need to leave that alone. Same with Cam. Like, dudes talk about Cam, saying all that. Cam is doing what he doing. Him and his best friend is back rocking. He doing positive things. He putting his people on. He making sure his people eat. He got Sin City getting a bag. Everybody getting a bag. Like, let these black men be great and stop trying to instigate. Cause a lot of y'all dudes on the internet, y'all instigate this shit till dudes bump heads and dudes lose their lives. And then everybody talk about peace, stop the violence. No, it ain't no stop the violence. I go with what Pac said, man. Why is it hip hop? Why it ain't hip hop when I do it, but when they do it, it's hip hop? You gotta really look at what you be doing sometimes. But yeah, make sure y'all smash the like button, please. Smash the like button. Smash the like button. You know, we got 62 people in here. Smash the like button. So that's a terrible situation. Now, the Maino academics, 50 Cent, Maino, Jim Jones. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all, man. Fab, Davies need to leave Jim Jones and Maino's podcast. Um, them two dudes, let's just keep it real. That ain't even they make up to even be on podcasts like that. Like to do the chatty. Like Fab didn't even want to do Love and Hip Hop. That's why I'm kind of like surprised that he doing a podcast. Cause that man ain't want to do Love and Hip Hop. You know what I'm saying? And when you a person like Fab, a chill, cool person, get fly, mess with the chicks, You don't want to get yourself attached in beef. Fab is not a dude that get himself attached in beef. He don't beef with nobody. He minds his business. But like they always say, guilty by association. You standing next to somebody, you know, and 50 one of them dudes. This is my thing with 50. 50 one of them dudes where you stand next to somebody, he's relentless. Big Meech, the reason why he went so hard at Big Meech is because Big Meech took a picture with Rick Ross. If Big Meech never took a picture with Rick Ross, he would never go that crazy on Rick Ross. On Big Meech. He would never went crazy on Big Meech. Big Meech would have been good. Him and Big Meech would have been solid. They would have still been rocking. Diddy and his beef, like people talk about baby mamas. First of all, 50 dealt with Misa in 2004, 2005, 2006. He dealt with Puff baby mama first. So if a nigga dealt with a nigga baby mama first and another nigga dealing with another nigga baby mama, you really think he holding a grudge with a nigga over a female? Let's make that make sense. 50 not holding no grudge over no that. Yeah, he in the pictures with Shorty on the beach, but he's not holding that grudge with that man over that. It's three things why 50, and I'm gonna just say this, that 50 have his issues with Puff. One is when he came over to Puff, was working for Puff. Puff told him, literally, he can't sign him because his issues with Preem and his issues with Irv Gotti and them. And he wasn't taking the chances. He already had Sean. Sean and him, they done shot the club up. He didn't want that. They was cool. The Mace situation, that was the first straw that broke the camel's back. Because Mace was on tour with 50. He wanted to sign Mace. But he didn't want, shout out my boy TDI Music. Yo, TDI, I heard you on WBLS, man, on S1, man. Shout out to you. You working. I'm gonna keep it real. If y'all want to hear that good, real rap, check out my boy TDI Music from the Bronx. Got that fire remixes. He doing his thing. I ain't gonna lie. I rock with some music. I rock with dudes that got that good music, that feel good shit. My son TDI got that shit. I ain't gonna lie. I like the JB joint. Cause yo, I ain't never heard nobody rip that Jungle Brothers beat like the way my son brought up. So I'm giving him his flowers. Shout out to TDI Music. But let me say this, right? You already know, bro. You already know. Salute. So the Mace thing, he wanted to sign Mace. They already had, and Mace said it to me. Like when me and Mace was talking, Mace said it to me. He said, "Yo, Chris Lighty had a big situation for me, where I was going to do a toothpaste commercial. I was going to do some big. I was going to get some big endorsement deals, and the album was going to be crazy. And this is 50 when 50 was on top. But Puff was like, yo, listen, Mace owed me 3 million. Now I'm not gonna kill y'all with 3 million, but I'm gonna need 2 million. Jimmy Iovine gave him, I think, 1.9 or 1.8 for Mace, and he didn't take the 1.8, 1.9. So because he didn't take the 1.8, 1.9, he's like, all right, fuck it. I'm not taking the money. You know what I'm saying? He's like, fuck it. We ain't giving no 2 million. That's what Jimmy Iovine said. So because he didn't want to get a 2 million, 50 felt some type of way. So if you listen to the end of the diss track, hip hop, you hear 50 say, why you want to do that? You want me to tell the world what Misa told me? And like I said, 50 was dealing with Misa at the time. They was really dealing with each other. You know? Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact, Queen. You know, Misa and him was in a relationship. So they squashed the beef. Chris Lighty squashed it because Chris Lighty and Puff was like this. In fact, Chris Lighty managed Puff and 50. because Puff was violated, you know. So he managing both of them, and they cool. They like this. They homies, right? Now this is the thing why people really is mad. Why 50 is really upset. It's two things. James Cruz leaving G Unit and going back to Bad Boy. Cause you gotta look, James Cruz was helping out with the G Unit machine with Chris Lighty. So once he went back to Bad Boy and he helped out with that machine, 50 felt some type of way about that. You know, same thing like when Shy Money didn't go and take Lloyd Banks and Tony Ayo to Def Jam, that 50 had a problem with that. Because he wanted them to go, he wanted Shy Money to bring them over to Def Jam, right? Then another thing, Rick Ross. Rick Ross, if y'all know the story, you know, him and Son had crazy beef. He didn't like Ross. He said, "Yo, Ross was trying to take his thing where they was beefing. You remember when they was beefing at the time, the Hip Hop Awards. So he ain't had beef with him. But when they go back to the video, and you remember the whole video where he's sitting in the crib, he said, "Yo, I ain't even see him." And then my son said, "Yo, he gave me a certain type of look." And he like, "What you mean a certain type of look?" That's what Five said. So after that, they go back. Son ain't like him, right? Son ain't like him. And then eventually they did records together. And then they started the whole Bugatti Boys situation, right? The Ciroc Boys movement, the Supreme Team, all this type of movements. So once they did that, right, he was helping him out. So once you help him out, dude don't like none of that. Y'all saw like with the New York situation. You heard what he said. He said they was standing next to Son doing New York, and I'm trying to destroy the Murder Inc. franchise. I'm trying to destroy the Murder Inc. franchise, the whole record label, the whole thing, and they trying to help him out by doing this song New York. Son on 48 Laws of Power 24/7. If you an enemy or he beefing with you, he's trying to destroy. When he destroy completely. Once you join in and you helping these dudes out and you giving them a avenue, he got that they got the problem with that. And that's what people gotta understand when you got a record label, and this is the thing, right? This is why I say 50 beef with Puff is not about no woman. Like y'all really believe that he really is going hard over Daphne? Like, come on, my nigga. It ain't even about her. Cause she was with other niggas before Diddy. You gotta remember, she was with Jason Derulo. She was with this one. She's with that one. She's with other niggas. She's with Tyrese. So she was with other niggas, you know, before Diddy. The problem with 50 and Puff was that one, Puff denied him to sign him because of the politics with Preem and Irv Gotti, right? The Mace situation, James Cruz leaving G Unit to go to Bad Boy, right? Um, Rick Ross, you know, at first Puff didn't really fuck with Rick Ross. He was saying, "Yo, he," when they was comparing him to Biggie, he didn't like that. And then he somehow they squashed the differences and then they started working together. When they started working together and they did the Bugatti Boys, the Ciroc Boys, and the whole Supreme Team movement, Son started banging on him. 50 was like, okay, you want to help this nigga? Boom. But if you listen to interviews with 50, he tell you, nah, that was my dog. Me and Puff was tight. When they sent me the video of Cassie, right? And this is before she got with Puff. When they sent me the video of Cassie when she was having sex and getting smutted out and the pictures, I gave it to Puff. He's saying this on audio. So everybody that think, oh, that man hate that man over a female, no, he don't hate that man over no female. He hate his issue with the men. I don't even think it's hate. You know, I mean, listen, bro. Cassie's not even in the documentary, yo. Let me tell y'all something about this whole Cassie Daphne Joy, right? And I'm about to bust y'all fucking head. Before Cassie got with Puff, before she got with Puff, she was around Ryan Leslie, Rockwaller. Rockwaller gave Cassie her name. Now, mind you, Cassie was a model before she became a singer. She was under a modeling. She was a video vixen, but she was a model, right? Y'all see that chick, the Brazilian chick that was with Peter Nygard, the Sulaine chick? Her, Cassie, Daphne Joy, they all cool. Claudia Jordan, all of them, they cool. High price prostitutes, straight like that, right? That's why Dame said what he said because them chicks was dealing with Peter Nygard. Peter Nygard had the chicks that the rappers wanted. Jeffrey Epstein had the chicks that the white men wanted, right? Jeffrey Epstein got the joints that all the rich white men. You see the rich white men going for the chicks that Jeffrey Epstein got. Peter Nygard had the chicks that the rappers, the exotic chicks that the rappers want. Cassie and all of them was part of that. They was down with Peter Nygard. All of them. They know Peter very well in LA. A lot of them chicks. So they made Puff seem like he was pimping these women. He ain't pimped them women. You know what I'm saying? Them women was already renegades getting pimped out. You know what I'm saying? That's the game. You know what I'm saying? Because when you in that fashion industry, when you in that video vixen game, when you an actress, you doing something strange for some change, and you doing something for a career. Don't ever believe that these women is victims, right? And the sad part is that when you hear the stories and then you see these women, it's women that be on you, that be on. I was on Clubhouse with a chick that was praising Peter Nygard, straight up. She was on. She was saying, "Yo, that man was amazing. He paid my rent. He is such a smart man, because he know her aesthetics. Her aesthetics is rappers, athletes. They sick them on you. He had, like I said, the chicks that the rappers and the athletes want. And Jeffrey Epstein had the chicks that the white men want. You got to see the difference. You look at the chicks that Epstein had, and then you look at the chicks that Peter Nygard had. Peter Nygard had the exotic looking women. Epstein had, they alright. They not exotic. They I wouldn't say exotic. They just basic, basic, basic white chicks. You know what I'm saying? They look alright, but basic. It wasn't like the exotic ones. Now I go ahead the exotic ones, right? And this is the dudes that service the community, bro. You understand what I'm saying? I've been chilling, man. I've been chilling. Real winners was good with you, homie. Been chilling. So when you see Cassie being a freak like that, and Daphne and all them being a freak like that, they know what they are. They know they 304s. You understand what I'm saying? They just didn't want to go to jail. So they had to do what they had to do because they know they guilty. They ain't want to go to jail. They ain't want to go to jail. They know they guilty. They know they was doing a lot of wild shit. You know? So they set up Puff, you know. And the funny thing is, a lot of these same chicks is in a lot of your favorite rap videos. Y'all be like, yo, Gotti, what you talking about? You saying all these video hoes is prostitutes? Yes, bro. They're prostitutes on the low. They know the Peter Nygaard type dudes. You gotta understand something. In that modeling game, that's what they do. He wasn't mad about that, bro. You gotta understand, bro. He dated her homegirl. 50 dated her homegirl. The saloon, the Celine chick, 5 was dating her before he got with Daphne, bro. The Brazilian joint. He was dating her before she got, so he know what type of lifestyle she was in. He know. That's why he said dirty little sex worker. I'm not gonna cry over no chick that I call a dirty little sex worker. He called his baby mama a dirty little sex worker. I'm a cancer just like 5. You know what I'm saying? So I know. He said you a dirty little sex worker. But the modeling industry is prostitution industry. You know what I'm saying? You gotta remember, son, before your rappers and your athletes get these women, you know, these photographers and these dudes that run these fashion companies, they gotta get a crack out of them. They gotta get PC. You know, they gotta get PC. You can't, before the urban dudes get it, they gotta get it. They gotta get it first. You know? But let me say this, because I'm gonna get into this Maino shit. Ufa. I mean, listen, man. That man he done told y'all he done had every type of woman there is. You know, he had every type of exotic woman there is in the game. So 5 on that, he on that type of time. He done had it all. He been in the game for a long time. He had, you know. But let me say this about Maino and academics. Because I've been seeing this academics and Maino beef. I didn't really talk about it, but let's talk about it. So y'all notice that academics and Maino been going back and forth. I don't know how it started. You call them Acarellis and all that. I've been to Academic Studio in Jersey, right? I've been up there. Nice studio. It's dope. I've been up there. Shout out to my boy Troy. Yeah, that's my guy. Ab my dude. You know, I spoke on Doc and Cam. You came in late. Knowledge, I spoke on that. But I've been up there. Um, this is my thing. Maino, Maino and these dudes is salty, right? Because rapping ain't working no more for them. Maino is 52 years old, 51 years old. My bad. 51 or 52. 52. Right? He's 52 years old. Same age as Nas. Right? He's 52 years old. The only avenue he got right now is podcasting and radio. Rapping is done. I don't have a beef with Maino. Like I told y'all before, Maino, you know, took care of family members on my father's side, right? My cousin, his uncle is Mano's right hand man. My cousin, my actual cousin, my pop's nephew, right? Um, Mo Dogs is means that's family, right? So I don't talk ill about Maino. Maino only issue with me was the room I did with Snow Billy. But I keep explaining this, and I tell Maino this if I have a conversation. I never opened that room. Snow Billy did. I told them, yo, y'all can open a room in my space. They opened the room, talking about the lobby boys. He came in my room. I said what it is. I told him, yo, it's all love. Cause I don't have no issue with him. Maino ain't did nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? I was offered the interview boxing ball. I dubbed it because out of respect for family members, out of respect for people. But Mano's the type of dude is he's a real arrogant type dude, and he really this is why his rap career didn't go nowhere because he's the type of nigga that hogs the spotlight, and this is why he could have did something great in the culture by helping out a lot of young artists, but he wanted all the light on him. And 80 is doing an amazing job because he signed Lola Brooke, he signed DOD. But Mano didn't have to be um hogging the light. He dropped the album, it didn't work out. It was other talent that he could have put out there. You know what I'm saying? He never did that. He never did that. It was all about him, right? Fast forward, they got the podcast, him and Jim Jones, right? Him shading Max B. Shout out to Max B, because everybody be hating on Max B. Vlad, I'm gonna speak about that shit Vlad doing with Max B. But Max B came home on some positive timing. Now Jim Jones still salty about what happened in 2009, 2008, 2007. Let it go, my nigga. It's 2025. Max ain't even thinking about that. That man is in his late 40s, about to be in 50s. Y'all niggas gotta stop it, right? Now you got them beefing with academics. Academics got his own studio, right? In Newark, New Jersey. Them niggas is renting a space. I know about the situation because people told me about the situation. I know people that's around Maino Circle. At least you gotta check out Max B Music Queen. Gotta check him out. So I know people that's around the situation. I know people that do podcasts there. They renting that space. So 50's not lying when he said they renting the space. They renting the space. It just it just didn't have to go like that when you could have left that alone. You see Fat Joe and Jada Kiss, they ain't saying nothing about none of that. They keeping it moving. They get into the bag. Shout out to Joe Crack. Shout out to Jada. They just landed a deal with Netflix. Look at Cam and Mace. Like these is dudes that's doing power moves right now. Cam, Mace, Jada and Joe, $1 million worth of game. These are people that's doing power moves. You understand what I'm saying? They not out here doing talking some sucker shit. They landing deals. They cutting checks. That's motivation for a nigga that's a podcaster. You know what I'm saying? To see Joe and Jada and Cam and Mace and Gilly and Wallow and even Nori. People give Nori a hard time, but even Nori. To see them dudes cutting checks, doing what they do, I salute that. But when you got dudes like Jam and Mano, it's like a bitter thing. And like Fab is out of place being on that podcast. Cause Fabulous is a dude that is a real quiet individual. He don't really do none of that um messy shit. He stay to himself, stay to his thing. He deal with the chicks. He get his money. He do what he do. You know what I'm saying? So I was kind of like shocked to see Fab doing a podcast because that's just never that's in my thing. That's just not Fab's makeup. Fab's not that type of dude. That's never been his makeup. to be, he's too big to be on a podcast, fam. Oh yeah, I fuck with your show, Shay Baby TV. Make sure y'all subscribe to my boy Shay Baby TV, man. He got the best show right now, man. You know what I'm saying? I want to know about music, sports. Check out Shay Baby TV. That's the homie. But Fab shouldn't never jumped in that podcast and shit. Same with Dave East, bro. That's just not they. Yeah, we definitely gonna work. We definitely gonna work. Um, he should never did that because, in my opinion, I feel like Fab is too big for podcasting, bro. Like he had a successful career. Like Fab catalog alone, he could go and do a show right now and get a nice bag just off of the music that he does. You already know Shay. You already know Big Bro. He could go and do a show right now, do his thing, perform. He could still get a feature from all the known rappers because all the young niggas love Fab. So he could still get features. He's still relevant in the culture. He's not a washed up nigga at all. You know what I'm saying? Fab's not a washed up nigga at all. Fab could still get features from the top guys in the game. You know, in my opinion, I just thought that Fab doing a podcast with them, it didn't make no sense to me. If you're gonna do a podcast, do it with Clue. That made more better sense. Do a podcast with Clue. Cause at least Clue and you got history. Y'all made millions together. Y'all still making money together. You know what I'm saying? Copper Code, like niggas don't even know. That's Fab's spot. Yeah, Ruggs managing the joint, but that's Fab. That's low key Fab and Clue. Clue, Fab. I don't know if Webb isn't part of that because they used to have a club out there. Webb, Clue, and Fab. They used to have a club in Atlanta. But they all Fab been a solid investor and shit like that. So Fab really get to the bag. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't understand why he even got into that. Like, I know Maino and Jim need money. You understand what I'm saying? Because Maino be capping talking about, oh, Chelsea House is my spot. No, Chelsea House is my cousin uncle Casino Mike spot. That's Mike's spot, right? That's whose spot that is. That's Casino Mike's spot. You know, and the sneaker store, that's Mike, all that, that's them, right? Maino, yeah, you cool with them, but that ain't your business, homie. Like that's my thing with him, and I just think that he shouldn't even be, you know, him and Jim shouldn't be attaching these dudes into that messy shit cause Davies still out here working, son. You know what I'm saying? Davies, like, I respect Davies. You see who I respect that ain't on no messy podcast and niggas ain't talking about him and he doing power moves right now? Red fucking Cafe, bro. Shout out to Red Cafe. Red Cafe ain't saying nothing about Puff. He ain't on there talking about, oh, Puff did me dirty. Red Cafe got a nightclub. He was getting money in Dubai with the oil. He got the restaurant. Y'all saw Remy Ma was at his restaurant right now that he got out there in Steinway. Like, that nigga Red Cafe paper he been doing it. You know what I'm saying? So dudes like that, they don't have to be on podcasts. They get into the bag, bro. You know what I'm saying? And like Maino, he be on this, oh, I don't fuck with rap. But dog, you just shout out to Troy Ave. Shout out to my brother. You just shook Troy Ave. You just had a conversation with Ave at the fight, dapped him up and all that. But these dudes, that's why I say the rap industry is so fake. It's so fake that niggas believe niggas in this industry. Like niggas say, oh, we got beef, but niggas don't really have beef. Niggas be shaking these niggas' hands low key. Niggas be on these niggas' lines telling them, yo, it ain't even like that. These industry dudes be really be thinking like these industry dudes be hating each other and all that. That ain't true. Like you saw like if y'all ain't see the video, it's on ad page. I'm gonna repost it. Mano walked up to Av after he done diss Av, after he done said all this about Av, after he said he done had that man chained, after he said, yo, he provoked Taxstone. He saw this man recently and dapped him up at the fight while this man is holding his baby in Vegas. Make it make sense, bro. But these are the dudes that say this thing that. That's why I don't take these dudes serious, man. I don't take these dudes serious when they say certain things. Like I don't take these dudes serious. And that's why like even with the Maino like Jim Jones hating on Max B. Max B ain't on no negative vibes, bro. Max coming home from jail and everybody trying to like shit on this man. Wack 100 doing the goofy shit. He's a goofy. You know what I'm saying? He don't know nothing about Max B. Never heard his music. Don't know the man. But you want to call a man a snitch, right? You want to call a man a snitch, right? They got their issues. Pooh Sims got his issue with Max because he felt like Max should help him out with a lawyer. The man just came home. He getting in position. Instead of you waiting the process, let this man get in position so he can help you out. You go online and try to violate him. Like Gina Conway. Like, bitch, you lined it up. You's a bozo. You snitched on him. He had nothing to do with it. Vlad, salty, because this is what Vlad does, right? When you don't do an interview with him, he goes and finds the best kept secret. Somebody that got an issue with you, somebody discredit you, right? If you don't go and do an interview with him, right? He wanted Poe on his platform for years. He lowballed Poe. How you gonna give somebody like Poe? I think he wanted to give Poe like 20,000 or 30,000, something like that. It was some low numbers. And Poe, he know his worth. I'm not taking no peanuts. So he probably wanted to lowball Max B. Max B like, nah, I'm not doing it. I'm doing it with people I know. Shout out to Max. He went on Cam and Mace, who set it out a bag for him. Shout out to Mace and Cam. They got him straight in business. That's what real homies do. You know what I'm saying? They made sure they mans was good. And then real Harlem shit, right? And then he went on Luca Brasi podcast with his lady, right? With Luca Brasi and his wife, right? With his lady, right? So he going on platforms with his people, and you got this clown Vladimir, the police, and that's why I don't understand how these real street niggas is keep going on this nigga platform. Y'all know this nigga the police. Y'all know this nigga is a fucking informant. Why y'all keep going sitting with this nigga doing interviews? I understand some niggas doing it, but like I could feel 50 and a lot of niggas that's saying what they saying. Like when Vlad can't get you on his platform, he goes and reach out to people that got an issue. Just like when Troy Ed didn't want to go in there, what he did, he get taxed on, he get Casanova. When this one don't want to go in there, he get this one, he get that one. That's what Vlad does, bro. Cause he know niggas ain't going on there. He only reason why he got Yayo on there is because everybody that he had to go on there, they was dissing 50. So he went and got Yayo. Yayo about his bag. Yayo could leave Vlad right now. 50 said, yo, you gonna leave, he gonna leave. Cause 50 gonna give him a better bag than Vlad gonna give him. This is what it is. So Vlad got Gina Conway up there trying to discredit Max, but niggas ain't falling for that. They still gonna ride with Max B. The dudes that ain't never ride with Max B, yeah, they gonna have their opinions. But people still gonna listen to Max B music. People still gonna support him, and it's still gonna be positive energy. The thing with Vlad is he's just a salty. He's just salty. You know, he's getting extorted by Wack 100. Him, Adam 22. Y'all dudes is getting extorted by Wack. Like, by Wack. Let's keep it real. Suge Knight pressed Vlad on the phone on a live with Ray J. The whole interview, he pressed everybody. Everybody got quiet in that motherfucker. When Suge started talking, and that man is doing 28 years in prison. That's how you know when Suge talk, it means something out there in that LA. I don't know what it means. Like Big U, like certain niggas with them type of like clout, like them niggas, it means something out there. And when Suge was on that phone and he was talking to Ray J, then he started G checking Vlad. Vlad ain't say nothing. He had to bring Wack 100 up there because Wack like to do a lot of this. But he ain't say nothing when Suge was on that phone. He ain't say, oh, I think you this and I want to fuck with you and none of that. He ain't say none of that. He was Shook Daddy. That's what he was, Shook Daddy. So when it comes to the Maino shit, I mean, academics got his lane, bro. You know what I'm saying? Niggas is not going to see what people gotta understand is niggas that's mad at academics is older niggas because they don't have the voice of the youth like the nigga do. I may not like all of what academics say, but academics is the face of youth culture. Him, the Casa Knots, the Talib, all these young dudes that's in this whole streaming shit, they got control of the culture. All these other dudes, y'all lost it. And like I tell people this all the time, like the reason why a lot of these dudes lost it is because they went from being groupies, male groupies for these people. And that's why these other dudes, when they get in the game, they the tastemakers. Y'all can't be mad at them. So when they mad at if Maino or Jim Jones wanted to go on a they would go on academics platform. Look at how all these niggas rush to Adam 22 platform. What's the difference between academics and Adam 22? Somebody tell me this. What's the difference? Somebody in the chat. Because I saw all these dudes that got an issue with academics. They made sure they carried their black ass on Adam 22 platform being male groupies trying to get on. After he done had interviewed Pop Smoke Killer, after he done did and say all the things he did, culture votes to culture, and they still ran up there to get heard over there. So dudes gotta make it make sense to me. Dudes gotta make it make sense to me. Y'all mad at academics, but y'all not mad at Vlad. Y'all not mad at Adam 22. Y'all not talking about y'all gonna smack Adam. Y'all not gonna talk about y'all gonna smack Vlad. Y'all bringing these dudes to y'all neighborhoods. Male groupies. Like I saw these dudes like black Paul. Like this is my thing, right? When it come to black male podcasters, we get the threats. Yeah, niggas want to get active with you. They want to take it to the streets when you a black male podcaster. But if you a white podcaster like a Trap Law Raw, a Adam 22, a Vlad, a 1090 Jake, oh niggas rolling the red carpet for them. A nigga ain't trying to put hands on them. They trying to embrace them. But every time I look, everybody want to do something to a black podcaster or a dude with a platform that's black. Let's keep it real. They want to get active with black podcasters. They talking whole hella crazy. But when they sit around these white dudes that got these podcasters, they smiling from ear to ear, teeth showing, taking them to their hood, taking them to their blocks, smiling, laughing with them, going to the club with them, flicking up with them. But when it come to you, that got a podcast that's black, when I see that nigga, I'ma smack the shit out that nigga. I'ma get my goons to press the button on him. They want to get crazy with you. They want to take you out of here. You ain't never hear them give a threat of violence to none of them white podcasters. None of them. At all. And then if you talk about them, they jumping out the window for the white podcaster. Let's make it make sense. They jumping out the window for the white podcast. What? Oh, nah, you ain't talking about Trap Low Rolls like that. You ain't talking about Adam 22 like that. Let's keep it real, man. These podcasts, instead of dudes fighting, right? Y'all should be growing platforms together. Don't y'all see how all them white podcasters form Voltron together? Y'all didn't see that Adam had all of them on his platform? 1090 Jake, Adam 22, with Vlad, Trap Low Ross. They all was together on a platform together, sitting up there, doing content together. But you black niggas don't even want to do content with another black content creator. You want to take them out of here. Because y'all got that Willie Lynch head nigga in charge mentality. But these white platforms, they out here, they getting bags together. They partying together. They interviewing each other. They talk to each other on the phone. Laughing saying, yeah, look at them niggas there. They can't even get their shit straight. But we out here, we making millions of dollars. They getting millions off of our culture. They get millions of dollars off our culture. And y'all dudes fighting over peanuts, thousands of dollars. And they getting millions. Cutting checks like nothing. Y'all see a black podcaster doing this thing, y'all hating on him. Y'all hating on him. Y'all hating on, yeah, like y'all saw Cam and Mace, dudes start hating on them. Y'all saw Joe and Jada, y'all hating on Joe and Jada. Like it's ridiculous, man. Y'all hating on podcasters, and y'all don't even know that if y'all get money together, y'all can have a whole network. Like what I'm about to do in 2026, I don't even want to. Matter of fact, I'm gonna say it. I'm starting my own podcasting network, bro. Like YouTube has been great. We're gonna continue to keep getting money over here. But I'm at the point now, I want to start my own website. I want to start my own media company. You understand what I'm saying? Because I feel like there's a lot of voices out here that have platforms that got good content that should be heard. You know, and I done helped out a lot of YouTubers on here. Some of these dirty sector YouTubers, y'all see, I was the one that helped them when they didn't have no platforms. Death for the Clout Chaser, Harlem Legend TV. Shout out to my brother Jay Marvelous. I could go on. The dudes that I helped on this platform. You understand what I'm saying? And I continue to keep helping. Right? So now I'm like, yo, let's do our own network. Let's start our own podcast. I saw what Puff did with Revolt. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing what Dame Dash doing with American New. What 50 did with This Is 50. I'm like, okay. World Star, like what Q did. I said, all right, let Bullets Gotti start his own situation where we could do some big things. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of dudes that got platforms that I know that would love to be a part of the network. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking at platforms and I'm seeing people up here that, oh, you already know, Shay, you definitely gonna have a show on the network. You already know. I got you, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely like building on something big, like bringing something new to the table, because everybody's the same, bro. Everybody want to expose. Everybody wanna put dudes, like I'm not with none of that. I'm right now. I'm doing like I looked at Math Hoffa, right? Math Hoffa had a whole platform that could have been great, right? But you know what he did? He gatekeep. He gatekeep. He could have had a network with SO. All that could have been in the same universe. SO, Heineken, Bigger, um, Champ, all Gat Murder, Mecca. All they platforms could have been in his universe. And they could have made a shitload of money network-wise. I look at dudes like Earn Your Leisure and what they doing, and I'm saying, yo, these dudes doing it right. Cam and Mace, they doing it right. You know, Joe and Jada doing it right. Gilly and Wallow doing it right. Why these other niggas ain't doing it right? Why they not trying to expand the universe and try to make it where everybody can win on a network? You know what I'm saying? Yo, you crazy. Miss Jones still look good, but you crazy for the Tina Knowles thing. I mean, she ain't a bad looking lady, but damn, you crazy though. You crazy though, man. But nah, man, you gotta build your own network. Like radio is over with. Let's keep it real. And that's what I want to say about Hot 97. Hot 97 is finished. It's done. Right? It's been done for years. Summer Jam, all that. Funk Flex been on Hot 97 since 1993. Right? He was the first DJ on that station, to be exact, when it wasn't even a hip hop station, when it was just a freestyle house music station. That's how long that man been on that station, right? So I knew it was going to end with Funk Flex. It's going to be with Funk Flex. But what people got to understand is what Ebro was saying wasn't surprising. Hot 97 never was no black-owned radio station. Hot 97 was a white-owned radio station that was, I think, was owned by an Italian dude, if I'm not mistaken. And the program direction was Italian, but they all came from the old Hot 97 station, right? Kiss FM. That wasn't a black-owned radio station. So how can a station that never was owned by the culture can be the culture? Now, if you talk about WBLS, that was actually in Harlem. That was over the Apollo Theater. That was black-owned radio. Percy Sutton owned that. That was a Harlem-owned station. Look it up. That's why they had to make Kiss. That's why they had to make Hot 97 to compete with WBLS, because WBLS was black owned, predominantly black owned. The thing about WBLS is that later on that the ownership changed hands. You know, once Kiss FM got bought out by ESPN, they took under Hot 97, the same company. They bought WBLS. But that was a black owned station for years. You know what I'm saying? And they ain't never had the problems that Hot 97 had, where they switching program directors, morning shows. Steve Harvey been the face of the morning show for years. For years. WBLS is the code. That's why I tell people, like WBLS, like my grandmother, my mom, they still listen to WBLS till this day. Okay? And they've been listening to WBLS since the 70s. Till this day, they still listen to that. Why? Because that was a black-owned radio station on 125th over the Apollo Theater. This is facts. You can look it up. Apollo was downstairs. WBLS was upstairs. Frankie Crocker, all the shows that they did. That's why the Apollo, every Apollo show that was hosted, it was hosted by Frankie Crocker and WBLS, because that right there was owned by Percy Sutton. This is facts. Percy Sutton is a Harlem legend, okay? Harlem icon. So when people talk about black-owned radio or the culture, that's the culture. Yeah, they stopped playing hip hop later on and they went to R&B, but it was always the culture. That was the first station to play hip hop. The first station to play hip hop. The first station. You understand what I'm saying? That and WLIB and WHBI. But WHBI was not in New York. But the main two stations that was WLIB was owned by WBLS. They both the same station. They both was playing the music of the community, and they was for the community. That was a station that was created by the community of Harlem. That's why that's why every event that was done in Harlem was sponsored by WBLS. This is straight facts. Kiss was a carbon copy. It was carbon copy. Kiss FM was carbon copy. They had to get competition, but you can't. WBLS had all the DJs. Every DJ that's on Hot 97, was on WBLS. From Bobby Condas, Frankie Crocker found Bobby Condas, to Kid Capri, Funk Flex, Chuck Chillout was over there. Every DJ you name was on that station. Straight like that. Every DJ. Pete Rock, Clark Kent, every DJ you name was on that station. Every DJ. So Hot 97, I knew that was going. Like, you gotta look. It's just like with Kiss FM. They going to sell that company. They probably going, a sports company going to buy it, and they ain't going to have a hip hop station. Power 105 killed Hot 97. Once Power 105 came effect, and that's another thing. Power 105, when that first came out in 2002, right? Hot 97 was killing Power 105. They had a slow start. They had Ed Lover and Dr. Dre over there. See, I remember the morning show over there. They was competing against Star. When they took Star off the radio in '03, they put Miss Jones on. Miss Jones took over the morning show. Ed Lover and Dr. Dre, they left the morning show. Then Big Tigger went over there for a little bit. Then no, Star came over there. Star was over there. They took Star off the morning show. Big Tigger went over there. He did the morning show with who was it with? I think Free or Egypt, one of them. One of the two he was doing the morning show. Then after he did the morning show, then Ed Lover came back. He took over the morning show. And then they got the Breakfast Club. They be doing Ed Lover dirty. I'ma just keep it real. Cause I remember when the morning show was Lisa, Ed Lover, and Dr. Dre, then Star and Buck Wild. Star started on public access. You know, if anybody know that, he was on public access, wrote for the source. Then he did direct effect, because that's the first time I seen Star on public access. But when I really seen the whole Star and Buck Wild, when they really took over, was on direct effect. And that was in '99 after they canceled Yo. Because Yo MTV Raps they had the guest, they had Angie Martinez, and I think Enough was hosting with her. And it was Yo at the time. So once they shut Yo down, they was doing MTV Jams, and then Direct Effect came, and it was Star and Buck Wild hosting Direct Effect, and that's how Star in 2000 got on the morning show and took over. Ed Lover left the morning show because it was Ed Lover, Dr. Dre, and Lisa. They left the morning show. I forgot who was on who replaced it. Lisa. Forgot. It's been so long. I gotta remember. My mind is foggy. But that's how I tell you. I was listening to High 97 back then. You know, I remember everybody that was on High 97. You had Sunny. You had Coco Chanel. She had her own show. They had Ladies First. That was with, what was that with? Lala. Kim Osario was on that. Sunny. And I used to come on, what, Tuesday nights or Monday nights. I know it used to come on Tuesdays or Monday nights. They call it ladies nights. No, it was I think it was Thursday or Wednesday nights. It was one of them nights. And then you had Monday night mixtapes with Clue. He came on after Flex. That was 12. That was 12 a.m. You know what I'm saying? Sundays was Street Soldiers. And then after Street Soldiers, that was Stretch and Wu Kid. You know, right around like one, 2 in the morning, and 1, 2 in the morning. So yeah, like Hot 97, they've been like, they started off as a mix show, and then it pivot, you know, and that's why now, you know, Hot 97, it was going to happen with them. Flex wanted that. You gotta realize Flex had that 7 o'clock spot since he left Angie's show when he used to do the mixing on it, right? He had that spot when he used to do the and then because Flex used to have 2 spots on High 97. He'll come on Sunday nights and do the tunnel, right? And then he'll do the weekends, Saturday, and the whole weekday. But he used to come on like 2 nights. They had the Mecca. They used to call it the Mecca. I think they used to call it. No, Flex live at the tunnel with Funk Flex. That's what it was. And he used to DJ live on High 97 every Sunday night at 12 o'clock. Flex was on the set on High 97. So he was on like 2 times on it. But as time progressed, they was losing radio hosts. They lost Angie, who was on there for a long time. That's one. Clue, he left. He was the first one to leave. Then Envy left. They lost like periodically all their DJs. The Power 105 or other stations. So now the only person that was there was Flex. And you gotta look. Him and his team and his people got the station. That's just how it is. Ebro, you gotta remember, got the program director job after Bugsy, right? And then he get the program directing job, right? He was doing, cause y'all gotta remember, Ebro used to do the morning show when he was when Miss Jones was there. Him, Envy, Miss Info, he was doing the morning show. In fact, he was hosting the Smack Fest shit. Y'all remember when they was smacking each other up and all that? He was the host of that. So he been on air personality. He just went behind the scenes and he just stayed behind the scenes. But he been doing that on air personality shit for years. You know? And he was over there for a long time. So then when he got the morning show, cause let's keep it real. Ebro and Paul Rosen, like Peter Rosenberg and Cypress Sounds and K Fox, that shit was like it didn't work. They was competing with after Big Boy, because Big Boy had the morning show for Hot 97 for a minute. So they needed a new show after Big Boy and Hot 97, partnership ended. They had to find a new morning show. Yeah, he was in that interview. Ebro was on Miss Jones' morning show, bro. See, a lot of them niggas, you gotta understand. Ebro was Miss Jones and them and Envy. They all was in the they was on her show and Miss Info. They all was over there together, right? Cause I used to listen to Miss Jones, you know. So they was on her show. And Star don't really like them, you know, because you gotta remember he was beefing with Miss Jones and them. That's how the whole case he got. Yeah, you already know, Shay. You already know, family. That's how Star got the case when he threatened to kidnap Envy daughter. You understand what I'm saying? So that was all because of that Power 105. That Power 105 and High 97 beef been going on. You know what I'm saying? Flex started it first when he choked out Steph Lover. He started that. He started that first because she was over at Hot 97 at one point. And then she went to Power 105. But when he did that, that's what really hyped it up. And then they just kept going. They just kept going, kept going, kept going. That beef trickled down. A lot of that Nas, even that Nas, when Nas was going crazy and everybody, he was on Power 105 when he was going crazy. So that's how that shit. So that beef been going on for years. But Flex wanted that morning show. Flex wanted that for years. You gotta remember, Flex was the king of the night radio. You know, now that he got everybody out of the building, he run the building. Flex. Oh, you gotta remember, Flex got fired from Kiss FM, right? He got fired from WBLS. He went back to Kiss, right, under Red Alert, right? And then he got the Hot 97. He was the first DJ there on that station. So in his mind, it's like I was the first DJ on Hot 97. I was here for all these years. I deserve the top position on radio. I deserve to be the dude that got the morning show and I got the night show. So he monopolizing it. You know what I'm saying? He know what he doing. He monopolizing the business. That's what you do. You know what I'm saying? He stayed down for a long time. He played the back seat. He didn't have a power vacuum that he got. And he making sure he put his people, his closer allies in position. That's what you do. You know? So Red, Chuck Chill Out, all of them, he putting them in position because they still his, they still his people. You gotta look. You gotta keep these dudes in position on the station because he had his thing. You heard what he said about Enough, right? He said, yo, the reason why Enough was my guy, which they started with the girl Jessica. I told y'all that earlier. Like they started in the club scene together. So he's like, we started in the club scene together. We was on Kiss FM together. And this dude basically replaced it, my mentor. My mentor gets replaced because his allegiance was somebody that has beef with this person. So I'm going to hold that grudge forever. And that's what he did. He held that grudge forever. So because he held that grudge forever, he waited till it was time and he put his people in position and got his people in there. And now his people sitting at the table. So everybody that he gonna put in there, he gonna put people that he did business with. He gonna get them the morning, whatever. If he wanna give them the afternoon or the late night, whatever he wanna do, he gonna do it. Cause it's about his team. It ain't about the other side. You know what I'm saying? Dudes like him, they wait they course. You know what I'm saying? You see what he doing right now. You gotta remember, Flex, Star, and a lot of them dudes, they love talking reckless to dudes on the radio. Y'all gotta remember, he was talking reckless about dudes on the radio for years, Flex. Like, this dude literally dissing street dudes, dissing industry dudes. He don't care. He don't care. That's what he do. That's what he do on the radio. So when he went on the station, when he go on the radio and he going in and talk about the baby, and then he went and did the thing on the six guard and said what he said about him. That's crazy. I'm like, damn, son, he going in on everybody, man. He got the morning show and he going like it's the afternoon, like he going on his Hulk Hogan rants, but that's what he do. You can't get mad. You can't get mad at what is being said because, you know, that's what it is. Now, like I said, bro, he upset, but he already had you gotta look. I don't think he really mad because Ebro one, he's a big dog at Apple Music, right? Rosenberg, he's not mad either because he got a situation with the WWE and ESPN. So he's not salty about leaving High 97. He's not salty about that because they still got position. You got to remember, Ebro is Jay-Z dude. Like, that's his man. Hove is his dude, you know? And he big at Apple and he big with Rock Nation. So he gonna always have a position and a job in the game. That Hot 97 thing, I don't even think he even salty about that. And Rosenberg, I don't think he's salty about that because he's with WWE, he with ESPN, he getting money. And then they got their own podcast. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think they mad about it. I just think Flex, he did what he did. He waited his time. He got the motherfuckers up out of there, and he did what he did. You know what I'm saying? His issue with Enough was that Enough replaced the Red Alert, and Angie, you know, had a problem with Red Alert because he was loyal to Wendy Williams. That's what it was. So, you know, so that shit is crazy. Yeah, High 97 is over with, man. It's like High 97 is not the same station it was years ago, bro. Just look, they not even in High 97 doing Summer Jam. High 97 can't even do Summer Jam at Giant Stadium no more. That should tell you right there that High 97 is completely done. Giant Stadium, just that Meadowlands, like when they been in them arenas doing Summer Jam, and in 2025, they can't even do stadiums no more. That they basically gotta go to arenas like Barclays, or they was out there at Elmont at the arena out there, the UPS arena. And you mean to tell me that Summer Jam is really like washed? I just told you that Summer Jam ain't what it is. And like I said with the Ebro nigga, Mick, I ain't gonna lie though. Somebody told me about Ebro. Now I see why he super tough. His uncle was the big drug kingpin in Oakland. I didn't know that. Somebody put me on. I didn't know that his uncle was a certified nigga out there. That's why he be acting real aggressive with dudes, you know. And they stamp him in the Bay. I didn't know he that stamped out there, but them niggas in the Bay they stamp Ebro. I didn't know that. I thought like, oh, he just some, but he really stamped in the Bay, man. He ain't no, I ain't know he ain't no bitch made dude, man. You know, like them dudes in the Bay, they ride for that nigga. You know, Uh, I ain't even know his. Like I saw a nigga post his uncle up on Instagram, and they say, yeah, that's his uncle. I was like, what? That's Ebro uncle? It's like, yeah, that nigga, his people's is certified in the Bay in Oakland. I'm like, oh, no wonder he be acting the way he be acting. You know. Hey, listen, man. I'm just saying what them dudes in the base saying. I ain't saying nothing, bro. I'm saying what I said, bro. Like I said, I don't know what a dude could do physically. You know, I don't have an issue with dude. I just said what it is. Hey, how you doing, shit? Um, they just said the dude is official. His family official out there in Oakland. You know, I don't know. You know. But I do know he be real aggressive with niggas and they don't be trying him, so he got some sort of tough guy clout. You know what I'm saying? Cause they be treading lightly with the Ebro nigga. You say I don't think he ever been in the East Coast. The nigga live in the East Coast. What you mean he ain't never been in the East Coast? Well, I mean, listen. This the thing, right? All these stations don't play New York hip hop. Power 105, High 97. They play mainstream hip hop. Let's just keep it real. Y'all gotta look at these radio stations, right? And look at their relationships. High 97, Power 105, they have relationships with these labels. They play who these labels tell them to play. Def Jam say we want you to play this and that. Like niggas always want to blame the radio. I tell niggas like this. What about Jay-Z? What about Jay-Z? Jay-Z's a New York nigga, right? Ebro want to blame 50 because Jay's his means and he's a part of Rock Nation. But Jay-Z blackballed a bunch of rappers in New York, literally. And when he was at Def Jam, he never signed a New York artist. He was the reason why South artists, a lot of them got the push that they got because he was the one that reached out to these out of town dudes and signed them to Def Jam. The same Jay-Z people talk about, oh, that nigga to go to New York, but we ain't never heard Jay-Z do a record with a nigga unless it's something he getting out of it. Like if he do a song with somebody like a Saigon, Saigon got beef with Mobb Deep. That's the only why he did a record with Saigon. Saigon ain't had no beef with Mobb Deep. He would have never did a record with Saigon. Let's keep it real. True Life ain't had an issue with Jones and had an issue with the Dipset, with Cam and Mobb Deep. He would have never did a song with them. You know what I'm saying? He's calculating. He would have never did songs with these people. You know what I'm saying? Jay is the one that basically destroyed New York hip hop. Let's keep it real. Y'all ain't hear what Maino said? You understand what I'm saying? He made sure he black. You ain't see what he did to state property? He blackballed all them dudes. You know what I'm saying? People talk about Puff, but Puff was the only option that a New York artist could get to get a motherfucking bag. Real talk. If you wanted a bag in New York as an artist, you had to go to a nigga like Puff to get a bag. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. That's why you saw dudes like Fred the Godson. They was getting features from Puff, French, Troy Ave, all these dudes. They was getting bags with him. He don't got no song with Fabio Foreign and Jay Z. He was going to get them bags with these artists because Puff was the only one opening the doors, let niggas come to Daddy house, let niggas write. You know what I'm saying? Getting in niggas videos, doing features with these niggas. Puff was doing that. Now they could say bad shit about the nigga, but he was the one that was making sure a nigga get a bag though. Let's keep it real. Jay, he ain't like nigga, he ain't letting you get no bag. Jay ain't let nobody get a bag. Actually, that's how you know that man. That's how you know that man ain't want to see nobody in New York. He signed, yo. Do you know he signed a bunch of artists to Def Jam, and none of their projects saw a light of day? Like Young Chris, his project never saw a light of day. Sam Scarfo, like his project never saw a light of day. He was signed to Def Jam. Um, Corey Guns, I think he was also signed to Def Jam. His project never saw a light of day. I think he was signed to Def Jam. If I'm not mistaken. Um, there was so many people that was signed to Jay. That project never saw a light of day. That was signed to Def Jam. Graph, he was signed to Rockefeller. Project never saw a light of day. So it's so many projects. And then when you look at what he did with the marketing dollars, salute. It's coming soon. When you look at the marketing dollars he did with his album, Bathgate, yeah, he stopped Bathgate project from coming out. But if you saw what he did with the marketing dollars for his two projects, or the albums that he had the highest, they said the highest charted albums, Kingdom Come and American Gangster. Y'all do know Jay, and this is facts, took the marketing dollars to promote Kingdom Come, to promote American Gangster. He took the marketing dollars of Def Jam. So everybody album is pushed back. Joel Santana album pushed back. Everybody album on Def Jam is pushed back. Everybody. Everybody projects pushed back. Unless you Rick Ross, Young Jeezy, you know what I'm saying? Artists like that. Everybody album that's on that label, album is getting pushed back. So that's what dude did. So when they talk about like New York, I can't say 50 killed New York City hip hop because 50 went at a certain sector of New York City rappers, the ones that was affiliated with Murder Inc. He didn't go at everybody. Everybody was able to make money. It's just your man Hove, he wasn't letting nobody eat. He wasn't letting nobody eat. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. He wasn't letting nobody eat. That's why they record label. That's why if you look at Def Jam now, it was over. You know, Jay Binker, like people talk about Puff, oh, Puff blackballed everybody. You just heard his own man say Source Money. You just heard Source Money say he thought Puff was blackballing him. Come to find out, it was his own man's Jay-Z that blackballed him. So if a man that you grew up with, that you knew your whole life is blackballing you, that tells you right there what you need to know about a nigga like that. So when people talk about New York hip hop and what happened, Hot 97 was Jay-Z radio station, man. Really, let's really talk about it. Like when people talk about they want to blame 50 Cent, y'all want to blame this one, y'all want to blame Hot 97 was Jay-Z's radio station for years. Okay? That was a pro Jay-Z station. All right. When Son, in fact, when Son, yeah, he was behind the source. He was behind the whole source situation. He had Steve Stout. Me and Benzino talked about it. You know, Benzino. I'm mad that we didn't put that clip out. Benzino exposed that it was Steve Stout that told Dave Mays to start the whole the website, and that's what hurt the company. Once they did the website, but Hot 97, when Jay Z lost, I remember that day when Jay Z lost the battle of the beats, right? The Ether versus Takeover. No, Super Ugly, right? When he lost that, right? Hot 97 was so mad, right? Was so mad that he lost that battle that when it came to Summer Jam 2002, they made sure that Nas didn't do Summer Jam that year. Even though he was on the bill to close out, they denied him, talking about, oh, he hanging Jay-Z. Yo, we can't do that. But they didn't stop Jay from saying, you know, Prodigy was a ballerina and all that and showing the pictures. You see what I'm saying? But that station always been biased to Jay. And he don't even go over. And the funny part is, this is the crazy part, right? He don't even go to Summer Jam no more. He ain't do a Summer Jam since '09. But the station is biased to him because everybody in that station worked for Rock Nation. Not Flex. But the other dudes over there, like Ebro and everybody else, they all have affiliations with Rock Nation. They either work for Rock Nation or they're affiliated with Rock Nation. So Hot 97 is a Jay-Z station. It's a biased Jay-Z station. You know what I'm saying? It's always been a Jay-Z station. You know what I'm saying? So when people talk about why they records wasn't getting played, cause the gatekeeper Hov said your records wasn't getting played, homie. That's why. Like niggas be loving Hov so much. Y'all don't understand the man that run that station said that y'all should that y'all records shouldn't get played. So that's why he'll be at Angie's show. He'll do this one show, you know, like if y'all know the story of how he got played on radio, he brought Flex a basket with money and a bottle of Cristal. That's how he got played on Hot 97 in front of him. And for years and years and years, Hot 97 continued to play Jay. He did, for all them years, he was doing Summer Jam back to back for them. I think it started in 96. 97. I think he did 98 and he did 99 and then he did 2001. So that been his company, man. That been his, like, he could have bought High 97 if he wanted to. If he wanted to buy High 97 right now, he can buy it. Cause it's his station. You know what I'm saying? The only artist that they religiously played on there. You know what I'm saying? Power 105 is another station that's Jay-Z bias on the low. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody over there has affiliation with Rock Nation. So when you control the optics and you control the radio, who's really the gatekeeper? Everybody talk about Bad Boy. You know, Bad Boy had his run, but once Jay came in, Jay took over and pushed Puff and him out the way. And it became Jay-Z shit. Just keep it real. That's why I'll be like, oh, what niggas be talking about, bro? You know what I'm saying? Because once Rockefeller, I remember, Rockefeller took over to the point where they had their own segment on High 97 for the whole hour. You know what I'm saying? That station catered to that man. The only person that wasn't pro Hove was K Slay. But everybody else, Jay Z, Jay Z, Jay Z. Nas told you. Heard what Nas said? That's a pro Jay Z station, bro. It's a pro Jay Z station. And there's always gonna be a pro Jay Z station. You know, so when they say, oh, 50 killed New York hip hop, how he gonna kill New York hip hop when the station that's loyal to him did that? You know? Them people is loyal to Hove. You know? I mean, Max B gonna do his thing. He that dude, man. He gonna do his thing. But yeah, man, he did all that all them years, man. And it's sad, man, that people in the music industry really believe the jigger that y'all like to call him is not the gatekeeper that control the industry in New York. I don't know why people act like they don't know that. I mean, French could bring him out. French could bring him out. You know what I'm saying? Anything is possible. But they may have him do Summer Jam because anything is possible. You never know. But I do know this. You know, Hov was the one that fucked up New York rap. You heard what Cam said when New York started bouncing. He the one that basically changed the temperament and changed the frequency of the music. You know, that's what happened. All these people that think like, oh nah, man, nah, they ain't Jay Z, 50. 50 ain't did none of what they saying. 50 wasn't blackballing niggas like how Jay was. Jay was literally blackballing niggas, getting niggas records pulled off radio, bro. What is people talking about? Jay Z literally got a lot of niggas records pulled off radio, bro. Took a lot of niggas records too. Let's keep it real. He took niggas records, got shit taken on. He did a whole lot of shit. You know? The only problem is that, you know, is that people love Hove. And people is biased to him. That's why. Oh man, people had it different. People love him. You know, he got people that's like they want to be at his events, especially if you work in that music industry. You want to be at a Rock Nation brunch. You know, you want to be at um politicking with these people because they got control of the industry. So he has the podcast and shit. You know, he got the sports, he got the influences, he got all of this. So he meant like the 99% of the whole music industry is managed by Jay-Z. Okay, 99% of it. The movie industry, the sports industry, they all under Rock Nation. Anybody you see on a Rock Nation Instagram post, anybody you see at an event where he's at, they all Rock Nation affiliates. You know, they all Rock Nation affiliates. You know what I'm saying? And then you gotta look the touring Live Nation. That's the parent company. So you really can't get no touring. That's why like when you look at like all the black promoters, they killing them. They pushing them out. That's why a lot of they shit ain't together because when you got these people like Rock Nation that got a big entity like Live Nation behind them, that's like, yo, we got the motherfucking the shit that basically controls this whole shit. We got the marketing, we got the investors, we got mainstream. We're putting you on these type of platforms. We get you on Netflix. They got all the corporate sponsorships and all the corporate money that basically right now, like if you in any, you can't if you ain't part of them, bro, you ain't getting nothing, bro. You know? And a lot of the shit that they did, they stole a lot of like some of what Chris Lighty was doing with violators, and they stole a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? And that's how they capitalize. They capitalize and capitalize and continue to keep capitalizing. And everything is like it's under Rock Nation. So High 97 has affiliation with Rock Nation. Power 105 has affiliation with Rock Nation. If you look at the Breakfast Club, you look at Ebro, he's down with Rock Nation. Charlemagne down with Rock Nation. They all down with Rock Nation. They under that umbrella. That's why you didn't really see them two beefing because they all under that umbrella. It was really Flex that had the issue because he not under Rock Nation umbrella. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But they need Flex because Flex is the nigga that play all the joints. You know. But like I said, man, when it comes to that podcast with and another thing with the Maino shit, because I want to get back to that. Maino fucked up, my nigga, and Jim Jones fucked up, my nigga. They should leave that nigga 50 alone, man. Leave that nigga 50 alone. Cause what people don't understand is when 50 when 50 go when 50 go, he go. And what people not understanding is, right? If you watch the situation, right, with old boy, all right, and what they was saying, they was talking about the reckoning, the documentary, right? Understandable. They was talking about it, right? Fab, like I said earlier, should not be on that platform because what it's going to do is it's going to put Fab in some mess. And Envy just said it this morning, and I agree with Envy. Fab need to distance himself because Fab do business. Yeah, make sure y'all support the Cash App, $ Bulls Fab do business, and Fab is in the industry. He doing his thing still in the game, right? But what people don't fail to realize is this, right? Is that 50 so 50 petty, but 50 petty to the point of no return. So if you say something out the way that offend him, or you said something, he gonna pick it up. He may not pick it up, uh, you know, when it happens, but eventually he gonna see it, and eventually he gonna expose it, and that's what he does. And what people don't understand is he lived for that. If y'all remember when he was in the rap game, y'all remember what he did in the rap game on the mixtapes. So it ain't no difference what he doing in, social media. Maino, you know, he need to bow out because if it wasn't for 50, you would have never got signed. Because when Greg Cowman and them dropped you from Atlantic Records, Homeboy made that call. No, they didn't even drop him. He didn't sign him. Let me say that again. He didn't sign him. He basically like blew him off. But when he made that call, right, the Greg Cowman, and because out of the love and respect he got for 80, and he had a relationship with 80, he didn't have a relationship with Mano. He had a relationship with 80. He had a relationship with 80. He had a relationship with Casino Mike. He didn't have a relationship with Mano. So when he did that out the strength of his love and respect for 80, got him signed, you know, I'm in debt to you. Mano always was like, yeah, yo, 50 got me my deal. For years he said that, right? And then he was doing a lot of underhanded stuff. And 50 like me, when we see you do sneaky shit, we call it out. And 50 called it out one time. He saw him like the post with Jim Jones was dissing him with Mel Murder picture. And he told him, yo, boy, I got you your deal. Don't get crazy. And he said, yo, I thank you. And then he ain't say nothing else. Right? Fast forward, they do the podcast, he's saying all this, he's saying all that. But what Mano don't realize and don't understand is that in this game, it's about relationships and it's about loyalty. Once you show your true hands or what type of dude you is, you are a snake. You are now an enemy. And he showed what type of caliber of dude he is. He's a snake and an enemy. So niggas don't understand. If 50 didn't make that call, Mano would have never dropped that album. You would have never heard no All Be Above. You would have never heard no motherfucker High Hater. You would never seen Mano would have probably just been like Saigon and a lot of other these dudes that never was rappers, and that would have been it. But because this dude took it upon himself to make that call on a Bulls type of timing and give him that big cosign because 50 is a multi-platinum selling artist that's selling multi-million-dollar records. This is somebody that first album did 13 million and second album did 11 to 12 million. This man, you know, has leverage and leeway to make anything go according to plan for you. So when he made that call and he said what he said, and homeboy, you need to realize that you need to just say, nah, 50 ain't did nothing to me. That ain't none of my business. But a lot of these dudes, they show you the type of caliber dude. That's why you don't help everybody. And that's why 50 is the way he is. Because when you help these dudes, they show you who they are. So that's why he banged on Mano again. And these dudes showed their hand. So now that he said, yo, these niggas renting the space, hey, 50 might know more than what you think he know. Everybody saying he capping, he ain't capping. You know what I'm saying? 50 know. He know a lot. That dude is very resourceful. And these dudes in the industry, They be, I be always saying, man, play with some say, man, you can't go tit for tat with a nigga like Fifth. You know what I'm saying? Now, his thing with Puff, like I said, that comes from business. It's business and it's associations. That's why he's mad with Puff. It ain't got nothing to do with no he hate that man because he was with Daphne. Cause if that's the case, then Puff would hate him for being with Misa. You know what I'm saying? That's not the case, bro. It's not the case. They both was with each other's girl, and they beef ain't about no girl. The people may think it. Oh, a nigga was with his baby mom. Nah, bro, it ain't like that. That's small trifle things. You know what I'm saying? They issue is because Rick Ross, James Cruz leaving, going to Bad Boy, back to Bad Boy, Mace deal, and the whole thing that Puff was actually standing next to Irv, Ja, Preem, and he didn't want to sign him. That's what it was. That's what it was. That's what it always been. I don't know where these people be thinking it ain't was that, but it was that. You know, you know. So that's why I said, with the Maino thing, you know, they went at 50, they got what they got. Now, when it come to Bobby Shmurda, let me say this, because I want to talk about the Bobby Shmurda thing, because I've been here a good while. Let me talk about this Bobby Shmurda thing. So the Bobby Shmurda thing in Minnesota, I don't know if y'all seen that video. That's a crazy situation. Um, my thing is this. Um, Bobby got to go with some. He gotta keep better security, and he got to stay out them type of nightclubs because what they did to Bobby Shmurda, right? And it just shows you that sometimes, bro, you got to be careful what you say about people. Now I'm not gonna say that because he didn't say nothing, but you got to be careful the energy, because I don't think it was Bobby's energy, but the energy of some of these nightclubs be dangerous. And what I heard um is that Bobby ran off with the money of the promoter, whatever they trying to say it was, right? And that's why that happened to him. But my thing is this, right? We got to start conducting business correctly. Dude ain't even on that type of negative time than Bobby Schmurder. They jumped him. He not a fighter. He not a fighter. He like to have fun. He like to laugh. They jumped him. They beat him up, which didn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? They snatched his chain. Then he had to get his chain back from somebody that was, a big dude out there in Minnesota. But all that wasn't necessary at all. You know what I'm saying? But I just think, Bobby just gotta when he go to clubs now, don't go to them hole in the wall type spots where the security is kind of like low. And not only that, he could have lost his life in there because dude had a gun and almost shot him. So that's another thing. A lot of people saying, "Yo, why he ain't got his goons with him?" Like the man don't want to be around them type of individuals. You can't fool him. He don't want to be around the street type dudes. He don't want to be around the gang. He wanna live his life the way he living his life. I can't blame him. I can't blame him. You know what I'm saying? He just don't want to. He went to jail for shit he didn't do. So they kind of ruined his life. So I kind of understand why he's staying away from them. Because they ruin his life. Once you ruin somebody's life like that, you stay away from them, and that's what he doing. He stayed away from them. But like I said, man, there's a lot going on, man. Even the thing with Trey Songz, like Trey Songz, I'm gonna keep it real with you. Trey Songz, with him, you know, they want to go after him badly. Trey Songz, and Chris Brown, them is the two dudes they want to go after badly. And Trey Songz, I think why they going after him is because these podcasts has been talking about him for a minute, and they saying he got like a he got a case recently. He just caught in New York. They just arrested him. So that's kind of crazy, but don't be surprised that they might try to lock him up on some bullshit. So it's crazy out here, you know. It's really crazy what's going on, and you gotta stay safe, man. Choose your friends, and basically stay out the way and mind your business. That's all I can say, man. But that being said, man, it's your boy Scotty. I have a peace.